All right, we're on. Everybody knows we're recording. Jack's not here. Just decided he had better things to do for this first 30 minutes. He just decided not to show up.
Disrespectful.
Some sort of
He takes
soil
one
issue.
podium in a Deca, and he thinks he can come and go as he pleases. We're peasants amongst royalty, I guess, Jack.
It's a tough one not to have Jack on because we're going to do the draft later on in this episode, and he basically does everything for that. So we might need him there.
If we had to draft right now off memory, how well would we do? How many names would you come up with?
On the women's side, 2, 3.
I'd get 4.
I could get at least 4. On the men's, I could probably fill 7.
He claims he'll be here in a half hour, so wait patiently, folks.
We're on Bauer Standard Time.
Yep. No respect.
Rich, what do you got going on back there?
I think a plumber just rolled up to our spot. I'm like, how am I going to deal with this here? This home ownership, man. Stuff goes wrong, you got to fix it. It was grabbing renting for my entire life, and I'd be like, I'll just move out in a couple months with someone else's problem. Now it's like,
what I want to know is what this. You have like a 30 to 40 foot runner that you do your Hyrox work on, laid out in your driveway, so you don't get scabby knees, Rick.
So it's to push the carpet.
Is that what that's for? Oh, so you got a carpet. What is it, like just a really thin mat?
It's like indoor-outdoor carpet from Home Depot. I just get littered with messages. People are like, where's that from? What is that? How did you get that? And it's just from Home Depot. It is just indoor-outdoor carpet. It's like 60 cents per linear foot or something like that.
That's not how they measure carpet in linear feet.
That's how they sell it.
No,
it is
square feet.
They asked me,
These
like,
are
how many linear, because it's only cut in 6 or 12 feet. So you can't get the square. So you have to get it however long it is. So they ask you linear feet. What do you want? And so because it's 6 feet, all I needed was 3. And I was looking up how to get like a 3-foot runner, like that would be 50 feet long, and they would be like $300. I'm like, I'm not paying that because it's just going to get ruined. So I cut it in half long ways and then just taped it, and it does the trick. I mean, it's still easier than the Hyrox one, but it feels like the Hyrox carpet to the touch, but on the push, it's not the same. Nothing is the same.
I think you're just keeping those knees pristine. And it was an excuse to get the carpet. You know what's interesting about home ownership when you do what we do? When you move into a new residence and the neighbors start to slowly gather that you're a weirdo by the things you're doing around your yard, and they're like, oh man, this new guy is weird. What is he always doing out there? Those things he's doing. It's always a process. Every place I've moved to, like my old place was a townhome, right? And I had neighbors in all directions. And it was like people pulling the curtains aside, trying to figure out what I'm doing, and old people asking questions. Are you dealing with that, Rich, in your new spot?
Yeah, I was going to ask, how long does it take for people to recognize? Because the sun just started coming out. So people are now starting to be, I mean, the sun's always out, but it's starting to get warm. Now people are starting to be outside. I'm luckily fenced in where that is, so there's no access from the front. But I'm sure my side neighbors are going to start asking. Do people ask you about it, or do you think they just assume after a while and you just have to deal with whatever their judgments are?
Assume.
They just assume you're obsessed and weird and leave you alone.
Non-fitness
My neighbors
people
are my parents.
Oh, that's true. So
I got a weird setup because it's my neighbors and an adult day home. So adults with disabilities or unable to do whatever they are doing to integrate into society. So it doesn't matter what I do. Like one side's my family and the other side's disabled. So kind of free to be as me as I want to be.
I'm gonna have to go check about this plumber real fast, so you guys can just hold on. Ding, ding.
What do you got going on?
No, we're good. We can hold down the fort.
It's Tuesday. Ding, ding.
What's he fixing?
Let's get to the finish line.
We do this for a living. Get out of here. Go. We got it. All right. Hey, let's plug it right now. T-shirts are on sale, 50% off. Go to our website, smash them, buy 3 of each so you can do everything you'd ever want, cut off, regular, and then make one into like a do-rag you tie around your head. I don't care, but they're cheap. Same shipping cost if you buy 1, 2, or 3.
And winter hats, fleece line, not fleece line, black, gray, therunningpublic.com. A pretty mediocre, low-level website built by me. What can go wrong? Go there.
What else can we pump here real quick? Well, Rich hates us talking about the running public.
Oh my goodness, he just won't listen to us.
That's it. Go buy our stuff. I pumped it on our last episode. Pumping it right now. Let's move on. Okay, neighbors. Speaking of neighbors, so I live between. I have an old guy who's like 77 who is in like the Vietnam War. And he's a real surly old guy, right? Like, what the heck are you doing that for? Your dock's in crooked. What the heck would you do over here? He's like real on me. And he always has a comment for me. What a freaking waste of time, all that running you're doing up and down the street. Why on earth would anybody want to do that? He thinks it's the dumbest thing. And then when I occasionally do something even a little more left field, he just looks at me and just shakes his head as I go by now. He says nothing other than just the head shake. He goes, "You're young and dumb still."
Yeah.
But when you turn 40, you'll learn. That's what he says.
Yeah, it's tough to explain to people. I was doing the Hobie Temple on that patch of grass in front of the state fairgrounds, and one end ends at a dead end that is a backdoor entrance gate for vendors into the state fair. So that's a great end to be doing your weird stuff on. But the other end ends on what's essentially the main street of our town, of our city here in West Dallas, Greenfield Avenue. The kind of the busiest place you could be in our city. And so on one end, I'm doing my work and feeling fine. Then I run down and now I'm doing walking lunges, burpee broad jumps and stuff like that. And there's just a stream of cars going by and I feel so uncomfortable. And this is what, year 11 in the sport for me, or 12 or something like that. And I'm still uncomfortable doing these type of things in public. So then I start like going halfway down and back so I can always do my work down in the sheltered corner where no one can see me.
Yeah, that's just what it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Near me is a park on the lake. And when I did compromise work last year, you have these very leisurely older people who ride their bike very slow. And so you do your burpees, you run past them, you pass them while they're on their bike and you're running and breathing like, you're dying. Then you get back down, do your strength move. They go past you again. And then you play this game of chicken and back and forth with this happens every other time on this little piece. So I've avoided that now, but no, what we should do real quick while Rich is gone is we should talk about him and what you think he's going to do this weekend at Hyrox, at the Hyrox in Anaheim. What's your prediction for Sir Rich Ryan? Let's get it out of here. He doesn't need to know we're talking about this. Dang it.
He's 40 seconds faster.
Yeah, 40 seconons gets him in.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Rich is going to tank this weekend, but I could be wrong.
Most likely.
Oh, Rich!
Pretty. He's getting too pretty. He's starting to sculpt his facial hair.
Feeling myself over
haircut.
Here. Yeah.
Worst thing
back at a really awkward time, Rich. Sorry about that.
Worst thing I ever did during a workout though was stolen valor. I am guilty of using stolen valor. You familiar with stolen valor, Kirk?
Not well enough to know exactly what you were referring to.
Where you claim military service or military accolades when you have none. Where people will be like, "Yeah, I'm a veteran" or whatever, but they never served, and it's a real big deal in the military community. Stolen valor is like one of the least honorable things you can do, and I did that during a workout. I was at this place called Duck Pond. You ever do the Duck Pond workout back in the leaderboard days?
I remember seeing it. I don't recall it.
Well, Duck Pond is the location of my lowest form of humanity. I was doing a workout there, and part of it takes you over where I was using. I was prepping for Killington, and they have a lot of bushwhacking, and there's the county burn piles are there. So it's got all the brush and the yard clippings and stuff. And I was doing heavy carries up and over the brush piles, back and forth, carrying any sort of weird object I could get my hands on to prep for Worlds. And I got really tired of these people every time, like saying something to me, like, "That's weird. Like, you playing in the garbage, boy," and stuff like that. If I'm like, "What are you doing?" If I said, "I'm training for special forces," and they just shut up. Because it's a real like patriotic part of the country. But and then I felt like it and like just a huge jerk the rest of the time. Because it was I don't like, have you heard of Spartan Race? No. Well, have you heard of Tough Mudder? It's like that, but a competitive version.
How many times have you guys said that exact sentence in your lives? Oh,
Have you heard of Spartan Race? No, it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
competitive Tough Mudder. Yeah. Anyway, so I had Stolen Valor that day. I just told them I was training for special forces, and the whole group just shut up and let me do the rest of my workout. I was doing like a 3.5 hour workout of compromised running and heavy carries on the worst terrain I could find. And they were there just drinking yard beer and hanging out by the city dump the whole time, like those type of people. And I couldn't think of anything else. And so Colderosa, Robert Killian,
Marcotte.
I'm sorry.
Did you have that in your back pocket, or that just came out? Like,
I didn't even think.
If these guys start messing with me, I'm gonna let them know.
Every lap I came through, they had a smart comment. You know,
were you shirtless?
Probably not, because I was doing heavy carries in summer through refuse piles. It's probably real buggy. But yeah, I'd Stolen Valor. Come after me.
That's tough.
I'll lay down and submit.
That's tough.
You're gonna get a few messages about that, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
That might be one of the lowest things you've ever done. All right, you left Rich. Bracken talked about himself the whole time, so now we're back.
Ding 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 ding. All right,
don't
the outro.
No, what? Don't patronize our music.
No,
dink dink dink.
You dinked it up.
Not?
That sounds so tacky. It's doon doon doon. Ding, ding, ding.
Like a girthy doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Don't use that face with it though.
Tuesday. All right. God. We had Hyrox this past weekend. 2 of them. Did you guys check out the results? And anyone? I don't know if I think there was live coverage, but I was like, not watching it. Don't want to. Want nothing to do with it.
Listen, we talked about a bit already here for the last 5 minutes while you were away. Rich, only thing people care about are what you think of the Hyrox results that came in this weekend. So let's give you the floor here. We just had it.
So the initial results came in the Malaga course. Malaga? How we doing?
Malija,
I think you're right. The times obviously were crazy. These Spanish races have been so fast that
you called it. Yeah. You said the same gear is going to be there. Same equipment.
Yep. And like the ropes are the actual climbing ropes. The ropes we have in the US are these like stretchy, more like battle rope type of ropes, like the synthetic type of material that stretches like crazy. So it's hard to get a good pull. They have like actual climbing ropes. What's that? What would be the material?
Manila.
Like the actual climbing ropes are like made of like a wood substance, isn't it? And whereas the other ones are synthetic, like a monofilament. Yeah.
Exactly.
Monofilament. 5.
That's got to be
Mono
the lead.
For short.
That's the lead for
Jack drops off and we just go highbrow.
That's how we roll. So there were some crazy times in Malaga. Jonathan Wynn, he came over for Chicago. He won that race in Malaga. He got under 57, and he raced in Chicago at the North American Championships. He got like 9th and ran like 65. In Chicago, his sled pull time was 4:15. Did you catch his sled pull time in Malaga?
Was it 2:30?
Yeah,
3:15.
2:47. So just that. And like that was expected. Looking at that race at the start, the starting list of who was going to be there, it was mostly athletes who were already qualified, except for our boy. I didn't know who was going to be there. Alphonse, the guy who was like the
69 himself.
He ran 69 at North American Championships, came over to North America to run 69 minutes and runs 50 something out of just. So from that person, just that it was that athlete who bumped my spot. It just kind of ruined my day for a while. And then the next race was in Cologne, and that one seemed to be, I mean, the German courses haven't been that favorable these past like month or two, but this one seemed like a little fast. Tom Hogan went from a 61 in Sweden against Bracken. What was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Coming up on, let's call it 3.
We'll call it 3 weeks from the day. And then he ran.
No, that would have been more like 5.
5?
Or at least. I was there for 2 weeks. Then I've been home this is the 3rd weekend home.
Maybe. I'm going to say 3. So okay. Tom Hogan went from a 61.13 to a 58:47. His run and rock zone times combined in Sweden, it was 34 minutes. Here it was 32:45 in Cologne. And his sled push went from a 2:59 to 2:29. Sled pull went from 3:53 to 3:26. And then his burpee broad jumps were 3:09. Like, in what world can an athlete be over 3 minutes in burpee broad jumps and still run under 59 minutes? These courses just don't make any sense. And like Tom's like, if you're looking at it, it's like, all right, my strategy is going to be to go way harder on the sleds and then improve my running. He's just like, I'm just going to do everything faster this time, and that's how I'm going to get a faster time. Like, the runs aren't adding up. The sleds are obviously fast, but at least it's Tom Hogan and not Alphonse. That's my biggest.
Hi, Jack. Jack has joined us,
Hey,
by
guys.
the way.
Hi, Jack.
Work meeting.
Stop
I'll listen to
talking
your
to
rant
me.
later, Rich, because I bet it's good.
Oh, it's
It
just
just
started.
started. It just
Oh.
started.
I don't have
All
a
right.
time.
What I think want to pick apart is, what is his name? Alfonso?
Alphonse,
Hey,
no
Ruiz.
Alphonse.
no N, just ends with an S.
Alphonse. Okay. Well, that was, what's 11-minute difference between Chicago and this race in Spain? Is that right? 11-minute difference. So what is the question you have to ask right away is, like, what is the reasonable standard deviation of fitness from one race to another, even if, like, assuming all courses are the same? How big of a swing is actually, you could somehow be like, yeah, I could see it. 11 minutes
Benton
is too
Megiddo.
large.
What did they do?
Which is what?
Yeah, I mean,
4 minutes?
That's a good question, Kirk. Like, what's reasonable for an improvement in the scope of
Correct.
3 to 4 months?
Let's think of
Or at least
back in our
2 months.
let's think of back in our track days. Say that, like, you made your debut in, I don't know, 17 flat in a 5K or something like that. What's the variance throughout your season? You're probably
Hyrox
Comparing
is so
track to
nuanced.
60-minute Hyrox. though.
I know. I'm just thinking of,
Half
like,
marathon,
throughout the
maybe.
course of a season, a different event. Like, we had a season that we could compare
Drop
an
a minute.
identical event. Yeah, about a minute or so. So you're looking at 5-6% if you're at that speed. Same deal with the mile. You might have debuted in like the 440s, made it down into the 430s. You know, 5% or so. So it's 5% of an hour. That's 3 minutes.
I think 3 to 4 minutes. Like, Kent and Megiddo, when they made their improvements, that was more race tactics and not fitness.
They went reverse too. Megiddo went overseas, got slower, and came back to
Right.
and got faster.
Well, it's
What-
like, are we crucifying a guy for no reason, right? Which he did nothing wrong. He showed up and raced, right? So he did nothing wrong. We're crucifying the system.
Depends who
So
you
it's-
ask.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear it. I'd love to hear it. But, like, could we potentially be making a big deal out of nothing? Or is this like, there's just no way. There's just no way that somebody can get 11 minutes better over a Hyrox course in the span of, what, a month and a half? Whatever. it was.
11
Not even-
minutes is the outliers. He blew up
He definitely
and
blew
ran
up.
69.
Sure.
Right.
Of course.
Cut it in half. Here's the thing. This was so predictable, and this was worst case scenario. We all said he's probably good, but he's probably not, because one of these courses is going to hit.
Mhm.
One of these Euro courses, and you even said it's going to be Spain, is going to hit. It's going to be that course, and you're going to see a whole bunch of people go crazy fast. Now, luckily, not enough guys went through that you're out. Like, you can still make up 2 spots.
Mhm.
It's not like 7 guys all popped. They did, but 5 were in. But this was so predictable. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it didn't mean anything, and yet it doesn't matter. There's no asterisk. They just get in. So when I saw that, I thought, this is a nightmare for Rich, because you are, this is helpless. It's a helpless nightmare. Literally a nightmare where you're sitting there and you can't stop the bad guy from doing it, and yet it's going to happen.
And that's the problem with it, that it is like a helpless feeling. Like, I'm not going, like, I could potentially not get to race any of these guys all year to prove my point. Like, I'm just being not intentionally pushed out of these races, but because of the system, I might not be able to get there, so I can't even like help my case in terms of results, because they're just not necessarily willing to open that up. And it's like, what's the alternative, right? It's like, go to Europe, race in Europe. And like, sure, but is that reasonable? Is that something that an athlete should have to do and chase? Hyrox has become that. That's what it seems like. Who's finding the races that are going to be faster consistently? And there's been a couple athletes who have definitely gone out of their way to they know the same things that I know. It's like Spain's going to be fast. Same athletes show up there, and they are not Spanish, right? They could have gone to Germany, didn't. So it's like, who can find the fast courses? That's what Hyrox has turned into this season.
What's left this year?
Copenhagen, Hong Kong,
London, and Anaheim.
Anaheim.
I think.
Is
What we should have
Anaheim
done-
the only race this weekend worldwide, or is there another?
There's a hint. No, it's
There's
just
always at least two, I thought.
just Anaheim, then London's next weekend, and then that's a 2-day event. That should be interesting. And then Hanover in Germany, then Copenhagen, and Hong Kong's the same day as Copenhagen. So also a 2-day
You
event.
kind of really screwed yourself by moving to Colorado, and you're in Philly. Just a quick dip over, it would have been real nice. And now
Easy
you're just,
peasy.
yep, lying in your own grave there, middle of the world.
Stranded in the middle of nowhere out here.
So we should have done it this year to prove a point, but it's too late. But next year, if the first Spanish race goes according to form, we should just RaceBrain sponsor you and whoever else to just go over there and prove a point in the second race.
Love
Like, if
it.
this is what it is, we have to prove a point. Everyone go run 55 and just say, okay, but you can't do it on the first one, because what if they change the equipment?
Exactly.
Like that, the investment to get there, you have to know that it's going to be one of those.
They're
And
gonna
for
like
Europeans, once you're in Europe, it's $100 flight anyway.
Right.
It's worth the risk.
they're gonna put like sandpaper on the course for if they know Rich is coming over. It's gonna be the only slow one that they ever have, just to backfire.
That's what Makita thinks. Makita thinks whenever he goes to Europe, he just doesn't get good courses.
Just go announce, just sign up day of, and you're there.
Hunter was the case study that we could have used this year, but he decided to skip all of the American courses and just go right to the fast one and be like, look how fucking awesome I am. And that's just what happened. And now we don't have his 58 that he could have ran earlier in the year to compare to his 54. He just has a 54. Now it's like, wow, Hunter's amazing. It's like, what? Yes, and, the old improv. Yes, and you don't say no to that. Anybody? No? Okay.
I get you.
Got me.
Well, let's talk about you for a second, Rich, then, because I think all the listening audience, anybody who takes the time to listen, wants to know, on a fair course, what do you need to do this weekend to ensure you're going to get in? That's what everybody wants to know. You're bumped out of the top 15 if we haven't made that clear. Rich is now at 17th in the
18th.
world, top
18.
18th, top 15, make it to Worlds. He got bumped out by the
Out of
fast
17.
times this weekend. So now, Rich, you're out again. You're out.
Let's pull it up. Jack,
I
I know
thought,
he's,
he's 3 off.
And who?
the James Kelly.
And there's a roll down for this though, correct? If somebody's injured or doesn't declare, they at least roll down to 15. They'll try to fill the field, or they have some dumb Hyrox rule where they don't do that too.
Oh, there's probably a dumb Hyrox rule.
Yeah, it's probably like it can roll down until like
It hits Rich.
But if like
Your
the
initials
initials
don't
are
start with R.
yeah, if they're the same first and last initial, then they got to move past.
You're out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
makes
So let's see. Let's see what you guys think. So the last time in is 58:47. I think
This is all solved by the cues being taken out. That solves everything.
taking out the cues.
Just take out the cues, slide it all up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
So who's behind you who still might race again? Because James is probably thinking the same exact thing on the
he'll probably run
his
Hanover.
version. Yeah.
He'll probably run as many times as he can. I mean, he's
Yeah.
from Australia, and if he's hanging out in Europe,
In
he'll
the
probably
UK,
try to hit
yeah.
all three of them.
Martin.
Guess the Germans.
Yeah. Martin and Dieter, they've both raced pretty well, or they've made the top 15 in the past, right?
Dieter set the open world record earlier this year, which I thought was just like, come on, dude. And he ran open this past weekend. I think he's just going after
Okay.
the open. So respect.
What's his open time?
Like 50. It got broken. 55. It wasn't.
So
it
Hunter's faster.
wasn't faster than Hunter's time. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Then Martin's not in great shape. There's Peter Schiller. he just ran 61 on this other course that
Yeah.
isn't
That was,
fast.
that was like Tiago, right?
They ran like the exact same time. And actually,
Yeah.
I think Tiago is his coach. And so from what I'm seeing here,
I know Eugenio Bianchi's going to race again. He posted it, but I don't think he's ready to get in the sub 60 yet.
it could be Seb because he's not in this.
Seb's the only wild card right now.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Honestly,
Well, for those of you who can't see though, just so I mean, not most people
Oh,
don't
yeah.
watch this. You basically have
some do.
Well,
Few
you have
hundred.
about 5 guys running in the 58s right now. You have another 7 in the 59s or 8 in the 59s. And then in 1 hour flat, how many, if you scroll down, we've got how many? I mean, an hour flat, you got another 8 guys. So like you collectively have 20 guys or more that are all within striking distance. If they're racing, if they pop one or get a good course, like you still have 20 guys on the doorstep waiting to knock the door down, just like you, Rich. Now you're closer to the door than some of these guys, but like there's that many people having similar thought processes as you right now, I would imagine. 20 guys.
They miss. There's no more Spain. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I think this is all you need to know.
Well, it's not like, but I'm just pointing out, it's not like it's like, oh, me and a handful of guys are trying. I think if you look at this list, you realize how deep the field is on those fringe times right now. It's actually deeper than I had thought. So
there are like 15 to 20 who think that they can pull a Rich.
Correct.
But
correct.
Really, like these, like this guy, like you think he ran in Barcelona and they're in 60 minutes there, like chances of getting another course like that is like 2.5 minutes fast. And
I'm not saying it's realistic. I'm saying that people think they can. They're on the border.
They know that they can't.
Yeah.
I think the only stat we need to look at, because we've talked this to death, is look at the big Qs. The people who are auto in, 2 of them would not be in if it weren't for the Q.
Yeah.
And the third would be the last qualifier. So 3 guys who all have a shot at the podium at Worlds, Michael, David, and Dylan, would maybe not even make it on time. And yet they made podiums at championships. That's all we need to know, is that 3 of the 5 wouldn't make Worlds.
Well, Dylan had a faster, wasn't he like 58?
He would probably be, he
did that earlier in the year.
Between Florian and Bo.
But your point is valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Magida has like a 58 high, so I don't think he would be in. I think he had a 58.50.
Those big Q times are simply from the European and US or North American championships.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Alex and Tim have 56s. Sandy doesn't have anything faster than 58.44, so he'd be very close to the back.
He'd be the last.
Yeah.
You know,
and we saw him. What was he, 6th last year?
Yes.
Yeah. So
the tough thing about this style is, from like a viewer standpoint, it's amazing because it's like the cards and the deck has just been shuffled and we can't make any sense of it based on what we're seeing, right? It's like, I'm really going to be hanging by a thread when the World Champs comes, because I actually have no idea who's the best, because these times mean literally nothing to me. In your case, when it's like you want to earn your spot, it's very, very frustrating. From a viewer standpoint, I still think it leaves like a bigger question mark, like what's going to really happen here? The 15th guy could win potentially. And so it's like interesting from that standpoint. It's not fair to the athletes, but from a viewer standpoint, it's probably, I don't know. It's like rolling the dice, and that's fun for a viewer. Not fair to the athlete, but fun for the viewer.
If you're not quite in the know, right? Like if you know what Tiago Lusa has done since, and picking on him again, like it's not his fault again that he ran this fast time on this fraudulent course early in the year, and he hasn't been able to replicate it even close. Like you look at this on paper, you're like, oh, he has a shot. He doesn't. Like, Graham Holiday's probably similar to that as well. We haven't really seen him race anybody, but he like had a 5-minute PR in one race, and that's what he's in. Like, can he do it again?
Tiago. I consider not going to Worlds if I'm Tiago.
He podiumed at Worlds before, though.
Knowing what's going to happen this year, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't belong there. He ran the time. You go. But so if we play this game where we take one-on-one matchups, it's the easiest way to decide who's actually better is put your money on the line. Let's say life's on the line. We have to put Rich up against the Invaders. He stands for us. Our whole country's wiped out if he loses. And we start at number 17 and we put him one-on-one down the list. when do we start getting nervous?
Totally.
When do we start thinking our life might be on the line? It's not at 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Ryan Kent would make me nervous.
Tobias.
Tobias, that's who I'd say.
Tobias. Tobias and Kent would make me nervous. So now 2 out of 10 we've gone past. Then Joffrey, no. Hunter, yes. Dylan, yes. David, yes. Sandy, yes. Tim, maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah.
Alex, yes.
They're like,
what if you went the other way?
Yeah.
Is there anybody like that?
Oh, going down?
Yeah.
No.
No. All right. Just making sure.
I don't think so. James Kelly's good, and he will. He's new to it, but like again, he couldn't do it on that course that he just had. Like,
so we're talking 7 guys would make us nervous out of 17.
So what do you think? 57-30, 57-52 is kind of where I would really actually feel okay about.
You got to be sub 58. Definitely have a 57 attached to your name, but how often does that happen on US soil? Like twice, right?
I don't know if that's going to be needed.
I mean,
I think 57-36. You're good.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, 58-36. 58-36. I truly believe that.
Maybe, potentially, but those guys will have other cracks at it.
They have more cracks at it, but they haven't done it yet, and there's not a special course waiting that we're aware of. Will it shock me if 6 go under 58 again? No, it won't, but we don't have a Spain waiting.
Right.
That's done. Copenhagen is probably going to use all the same stuff that what's it called? Sweden used. It's probably going to be all the same. That's the closest country to them. And
I believe they use the German equipment in Sweden.
As long as they don't set it up like one German course we saw, as long as it's like all the others,
right?
It's probably going to be a pretty honorable course, maybe a minute max. And these guys have all been on courses that are a minute or so better. So I think if you beat Bo, you're good.
Good start.
Yeah. What you can do.
I wouldn't feel good about it though. I would still be worried. If I was in front of Graham, I would be like, I would feel okay booking a ticket.
Yeah, Rich still might be looking at Google Flights after if he.
Oh no, you don't book with. Yeah. You don't book with 58.
No.
Yeah,
but you might make
for sure. And I think you're right. Like if you're Tiago, it's like, should I go to this race? And Sandy just is coming off some sort of illness. He had a really tough showing in Cologne. So, and the way that his head is up and down, he might be thinking, "Fuck this! I don't think I'm going to go either." But can't count on a roll down.
You guys probably had someone like this in your school. We had at UW Whitewater, we had Jeremy Bogard, he's either going to DNF or he's going to qualify for nationals every race he ever ran. He dropped out of more races than anyone I'd ever seen, and it never affected his confidence. He always knew the next one was going to be spectacular. And then he blew up and it wouldn't happen. And then the next one, he ran 149.99. Like that's just who he was. And I got to assume that Tiago and Sandy are like that. That they keep coming back and popping stuff that when you're used to going up and down, it doesn't affect you the way it would affect us. Where if we ran 6 minutes slower than we're used to, we'd question our lives and our training. And they're just like, yeah, this is what happens. And then the next one I PR.
Maybe.
I mean, if I'm Rich, I'm looking back at what happened with Deca, where you just kind of peaked right at the right time, and then you shocked a bunch of people. Your fitness came into right at the right moment, and you're about a month away from this as well. You're a week away from Anaheim. I think you're going to put it all together, and you're going to get in those high 57s.
But Hyrox will incentivize people for running super fast when it really doesn't matter at all in the beginning of the season, and still have them be in the championship slots. So, I mean, this is just something we've been dealing with. Go ahead.
I have a question about course designers, the Steve Hammonds of the Hyrox world, we will call it. Now, I don't know the answers to this, but this is right where my brain goes, is who's putting together and course designing and actually doing logistics? Is there a United States course designer, and then there's a European course designer, or by country specific? How much money do we need to send him or her? Those
Yeah.
are the questions that keep me up at night. And is it really come down to like if course designer had to be like, dude, you got to make Anaheim fast. Like, could said course designer do that within the confines of the rules? Like, could a course purposefully be designed fast? And how much does this actually fall on the guy who's getting paid to organize the trinkets in the venue? I just wonder about that. I understand sleds matter. I understand carpet matters. I understand, but like the ins and the outs and the geography of the space itself heavily depends on probably the race design director, right? So like, is there not like a standardization there? I'm just very curious about that side of things, because here we are just saying like, well, we'll just see what they give us, but no, it's a human being choosing the best layout in that venue. There has to be some inner workings there that we could riot at their house, or like I said, send them hate mail or bribery.
Yeah, or just befriend them. Be very nice to them.
Or yeah, just take that road. I guess I was thinking more hostile, but
It's a weird
fine.
Philadelphia route to take.
Yeah. There's multiple ways to approach this problem.
So do we know that? I guess my question is, do we know this? I guess we don't need to out the person, but like that's a thing, right? A U.S. course designer. How does that work?
Gotta be.
Yeah, I think you're right on,
You know?
Kirk. I think that there are different designers for different countries, for different franchises, and those are the people who are in charge of designing and setting up these courses. I don't know. I honestly don't know who it is.
Don't you think no matter what side of the pond you are at or what venue, you could make a course faster or slower if you wanted to, and still nobody would scoff at the minor changes, I would imagine, or vice versa, slower, right? I feel like the subjectivity falls in the design, and that's, I don't know, makes me feel icky. That's all.
It's clearly not being checked by someone at like corporate, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
if you guys ever get on the rower or the skier, do you ever check your damper setting? And it's supposed to be at like 120 plus or minus 10 or so. Like that, I don't know.
Drag factor?
Damper or drag factor?
Not damper set. Yeah, drag factor.
Okay.
You can check that on the console. Click a few buttons, but anyway, like there's no drag factor for the carpets. Like you could easily calculate that. You could be like, hey, the coefficient of friction is this. Let's literally measure it. Now you've got it. And they just don't do an apples to apples comparison for the base factor for stuff like that.
I'm going to just say that as much as I'd like it, that's asking too much. That's really just catering to like 4 people.
Okay.
The sleds are just going to be a problem no matter what, and no matter where we are, like from lane to lane.
I'm trying to give a valid argument.
Well,
it's relatively valid.
It's a valid argument. And if this were the Olympics or like a national federation, you'd have to. But the easy thing to do there is to have a standard supplier of turf. And you just use that every time. You buy new and you resell right after the event.
You have to
and
be
you
an
let the pros go first.
An international distributor also, so that it's available in
I
Europe.
don't care about that truly, because we also think that you should have your times only qualify you for your regional championship. So it's apples and apples, oranges and oranges over here. And then the regionals get you through to worlds. But if you just had one supplier and you bought new every time, even if it was the dirt cheapest supplier, we don't care if it's good. It could be the worst turf or carpet known to man, as long as it's the same every time. And then you get rid of it after the event and get a new one, and the pros always go first. That's the way to make the sled even. It doesn't have to be good, just even.
All I'm saying is if Steve Hammond wanted to make a slow course, he could make a slow course. And if he wanted to make a fast course, he could make a fast course. And I bet you the Hyrox course designer could do the exact same thing if him or her wanted to.
How would you?
I'm just going to move that.
I think these runs are fucked up. I don't think these runs are all
right.
Total 8K with the rock zone and the running compare. Like I don't.
When
think
you see a
230
in the run, I'm like, I'm not trusting the other measurements that you're making in here. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. So I like that's how you would do it. Just make it like a little bit short each time and be like, yeah, it's about
close enough.
It's
we saw that
8K.
We saw that with the Spain race where the first and last runs were faster than the middle 6, which usually means the middle 6 are long, but the middle 6 were fast, which means like that's how you would do it. You would make sure that there's no extra run on any one lap and they're all a little short, and you would stack that rock zone so that it was super efficient. That'd be the quickest way to make a fast course.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
don't measure the wall ball targets to the height. You make it inch or two low.
Tom Hogan saying our courses are faster because we have square targets. They have circle targets in Europe. Fuck out of here with that. Kidding me.
That's like saying the shape of the backboard would change your shooting percentage.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you could rig it. What else other than the run though? What would you do?
You could you can make the lunges a little shorter. You can make the farmers a little shorter.
Could remove a plate from the sleds. Yeah.
I'm not talking cheating. I'm
No,
saying
it happened at World
Championships
Championships where they stick it off. But yeah.
Well, severity of turns, can't you? I mean, if the space
Less turns.
allows, you could less sharp turns at least, so we're not losing momentum. That's an easy one. Obviously,
Longer or shorter rock zones.
That's right, puzzle pieces to shorten the rock zones.
And like the thinking that you need to do for a rock zone. We just saw the course layout just came out for Anaheim. It's going to be a little bit confusing. It's like you come in, you turn, you got to go up, and like they're not sequential, and the in and out are in different spots. So like making in and out in the same spot, having it be like somewhat equidistant and in a sequential order, which they've been doing in Europe. They've just been putting them in line, like skier, sled push, sled pull, burpees. Like great idea, but they haven't really done that. We're not getting that here. But so I think that would be a way to do it, just making it make sense for the athlete.
Yeah.
Do you find if you're unsure of where you're at on course that there's a little hesitation when you come by an enter point? You like you are slowing pace or momentum to make sure you're not making a mistake, or does that not impact your lead in speed?
I actually stopped this last race and looked back. It was Austin Azar who was behind us, and I was like, "Are we going in?" I wasn't trying to do a Meg Jacoby out there. I like literally stopped, and I was going to run back to the board to see because I just completely forgot. But there's a little bit of that. I'll be running around and like looking into the rock zone to see where it is, just to confirm. That's how we do it. So we'll see. We got Anaheim. It should be good. Me, Anas, he's going after top time. Kent will be there. Hunter will be there. We're gonna be throwing down. Meg's coming out. She's running. Yeah. Meg will be running on the women's end. I don't know who else will be out on the women's side. Camilla Massa just went over to Malaga. She ran a PR
65.
66-14.
Was it? Oh, okay. I thought it was 65 high, but yeah.
Yeah, she's just outside of top 15. The 15th time is 65.50. And last year there was an extreme roll down. Remember, that's how Chris got in. I think that's how Camilla got in last year too. So we'll see if that's something that will happen this year as well.
So we've seen Camilla race a lot. What was her case study? How much did she drop? Was that a minute and a half?
Yeah, something like that. Let me pull that up actually. Because I think it was close to
that'd be a reliable case study of one.
Yes. Yes. And that's enough statistical evidence, right, Jack?
No, easily. I would publish this.
I think we could publish whatever we wanted. Everything we say is just spot on, perfect. And we're going to draft. We're going to draft today.
We're doing that. We just got to get this rant out of the way because it's real.
67.39 to a 66. Yeah, so minute 15. So not incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Maybe we're crucifying a guy for no reason then.
It's too bad.
Probably not.
Sorry, Alphonse. Coming over here, 69 minutes. It's a 58 something. You gotta be kidding me. All right. So there's also GoRuck to talk about this upcoming weekend. We'll just cover that next week. It seems like that's
we don't know what the events are going to be.
They're keeping it real. They're keeping it real close. I have a hot take. I think GoRuck, the ending of GoRuck last year was worse than the ending of the Super Bowl this year.
I thought the Super Bowl was fine this year.
Oh, come on. That ending? Come on, dude.
No. I'm just saying that because the Eagles lost.
I know why you're saying it, Jack.
It's a bunch of athletes who want to go do something that doesn't involve just aerobic capacity. And there's a bunch of everyone else playing military. I know I don't have grounds to stand on with military. You've got no problem claiming it. So you're justified in doing it. Yeah, well, I said it before. You can't mix the worlds. You can't score or run a competition, a sporting competition on military standards, because they're all about confusion and keeping you in the dark. And it's so bad for consuming. It was awesome to watch the games. It was awesome to watch hunters. But when you don't know the scoreboard, then you're just, I don't know, you might as well be watching something in a foreign language with no subtitles. Like it's entertaining, but you don't know what's going on.
So maybe we won't cover it next week. Maybe we'll just like do what we did just now. It's like, this was something that happened.
It's really cool. It's not a sporting event.
It would definitely be fun. If I didn't have goals, I would do it.
You do a multi-day overnight one? Seems out of your...
If I didn't care, if I was just like, hey,
Oh,
this is
okay.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, so I could be, then I can be like, hey, back off. I'm training for military stuff.
Yeah.
You need to get your dog locked down, Rich.
Yeah, Carl is way too talkative.
What's
Carl
the plumber
needs a
doing
zip.
in there?
We got some kind of backup, man. Dachshunds, great dogs, very loving, super cute, not friendly. Don't want to meet new people.
I didn't actually consume any of the Go Ruck games other than what was shoved down my throat on social media by the accounts I follow. So I have very low anticipation for it, but I'll probably watch it this year since we don't have this podcast and we should know.
I enjoyed it.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
But it's entertainment, not sports. That's my
Yep.
stance.
They also had the Savage Race component, which like that little cool short course was pretty cool last year.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was pretty entertaining. I've got my money on Chris. I think she's gonna dominate it now that they have the unknown overnight element.
Here's my question to always determine whether it's a sporting event or an entertaining competition is what's the test for this? What are we finding out? Like the NBA Finals finds who the best team is at the end of the year. Super Bowl finds out who is the best team of everyone who made the playoffs and can put it together. Ironman Championships find out who the best is at
Kona.
Ironman in Kona.
Mm.
Marathon tests who the best marathoner is. What is the Go Ruck Games test? Like what you find out who the best,
Go Rucker.
Go Rucker.
but it's not.
But it's
Because
not.
even about those. They got that done first.
Yeah.
They were done with it.
Last year, the half marathon ruck on the beach counted the same as like that sandbag
The-
kettlebell throw
yeah.
over your head.
Yeah,
So
the reverse toss. Yeah.
And then they did
Yeah.
a 1 mile,
They did a
really
1
heavy
mile.
Go Ruck, which
Yep.
is not Go Ruck. There is no 1 mile event in Go Ruck. And then after that, it was the
wrestling,
the military CrossFit Games.
just wrestling, dude.
Yeah,
Elbows
so-
in, you win. Jared didn't know that.
So, anyways, I if it can't,
I think
if
it's
you
just
can't
like
tell
grit.
me,
It's just grit.
Grit, yeah.
Combined with it's
Is it though?
grit game.
is Savage
Yeah,
rigged
just
gritty?
who can
They already
adapt
have the grit
and-
games. You can't test grit here.
Anyways, if you can't tell me what the winner is the best at, it's not a sport.
It's definitely not a sport.
Like, darts is a sport. You are the best darter in the world.
So-
Dartist. That's a
Dart-
sport. It
Dartor.
may not be a dynamically athletic sport, but it's a sport. Baseball is a sport.
What about laser
IndyCar
pistols?
is a sport. Go Ruck games are games. That's where I stand.
So this is a decent segue into our 3K series.
Yep.
That's what we're
So
here to talk
smooth.
about. We're here to talk
Seamless.
about 3K series. So before we get into it, we're going to be drafting. We're bringing back this old gimmick. I wanted to open it up and see if we wanted to change anything. I have thoughts. You guys have thoughts?
You guys overwhelmed the shit out of me when I opened my inbox in that group chat after being away for 3 hours. I was like, as three nerds jabbering at each other about how to do this draft, and I was like, I'm not even going to read this.
So,
So,
any,
no, I have no,
no
thoughts.
thoughts? Okay.
I
No,
didn't
my
read
thoughts
most of
are
it either.
zero.
Oh.
Okay.
Goodness.
I read
Well,
whatever was said right before me, and I responded as if that was the whole conversation. I was being a terrible team.
That's
So-
rude. I got to it too late to add any valuable input. Was my feeling.
So what I'm hearing from this, Rich and I are gonna have to decide because we were the only two who cared.
I cared.
I
I
didn't
gave
say I
good
didn't care.
suggestions.
Oh,
I
you
don't know what
cared, you
anyone
cared
else
enough
said.
not to look at it.
You guys,
care
some of
about
us
me.
work for a living and can't be on their phones. all day.
Exactly.
We're out here working right now. Come
Yeah.
on.
I'll tell you what.
Put me on the clock.
Whenever I go on Instagram, which isn't that often, every post I see says liked by Kirk DeWitt. So I don't want to hear that you can't be on your phone because
Gotta
you are
click
the most
box.
common. It
You know
says
what's
liked by
interesting?
blank and 600
Oh, it's
others or
because it's the
10,000.
coolest person that you're friends with. It always puts them first.
But you still had to have liked it.
You did still have to.
Yeah.
Is
I find
there
it
a
the
Kirk
most
bot?
random video.
It's
It'll be
terrible.
like a turtle wrestling a golfer.
I see
And it'll
so
be
many
like-
Bracken.
Kirk's
I
down
back
with
you up
that.
on this. There was one
yeah.
the other day, and it was this like leopard sitting on a corner of a part of a hill, and then a bird comes and like pecks it in the head, and then it runs up a tree and just like takes it out the top 20 feet up, and it said liked by Kirk DeWint and others.
Yep.
And I was like,
Loved
how
it.
did you see
would
this
get
one?
fed. That would get fed to me. Nature, animals are right in my wheelhouse. I like all that.
Seems in the
stuff.
algorithm.
Okay.
Risque
But I
ones
think
though.
when
Lisa will
you're-
be like, look at this girl showing all this on Instagram. Be like,
That is
like
not
Kirk
true.
DeWint. Look
He's
at this
in-
guy.
he's
shaking his
he's
junk.
empowering
Liked
people.
by Kirk DeWint.
He's
Sponsored
empowering.
by Kirk DeWint.
I'm a supporter. Too bad Bracken's too cool. Bracken, I'm his co-host, and Bracken will be like, "Saw you crush your tempo run on Instagram today." Doesn't like it. He doesn't.
That doesn't mean he
Bracken's
liked it.
too cool to support his friends. I'm
He
not too
just saw
cool
it.
to support my friends,
not
including
too
animals.
Appreciate
I'm
the support,
incompetent.
Kirk. Send out that love.
Yeah.
BK
But
is-
anyways, I think it's contraindicated to be messaging the Race Brain group chat during one-on-one personal training sessions. Like, hold on, I'll get that bar off your chest in a second. I'm just figuring out the draft we're doing for
let's
fantasy.
let's
Have
make
you seen this leopard?
Yeah, check out
You
this
seen this
alligator.
leopard? Don't
bro.
do that on that time either.
Okay.
Are you two fighting? Should you guys break up your team? Is that what's going on?
No way.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
No.
we
Okay,
didn't
just
do it.
making sure.
So we have an idea of how we're going to do this specific draft. We'll talk
Hold
about
on,
it.
real quick, Rich.
Oh
I just
my
wanted
goodness.
to no, I just wanted to give credit because I'm never gonna say it again. Kirk and Bracken won last year. You got second place. I got dead last. It's not happening again. I just had to give a wrap up of last season and just publicly air that I got last place.
We got to eat some pizza.
Should we do
We-
something?
Eventually.
Is dabbing still cool? Like, what do we need to do to celebrate here?
Dab.
Let's see.
do
Let's
it.
try it. Let's see
Do it.
how cool it looks.
Nope. I'm
Come
not
on.
doing my
Haven't
first
we
ever one
won?
right here.
Dad's
Did we win
dabbing
every-
us
Isn't
sick.
this? We've done two.
No,
things
I
and
won the
we've
first
them
year.
both.
You only debuted
Was I not
last year.
involved?
You were
I was
involved.
not involved.
You're still.
Okay, so I'm undefeated.
It'll be like how the Lakers.
We are
had a-
undefeated.
how
Yeah.
Lakers
In the
like,
bubble.
They not the bubble that counts, but they count their
I
like
agree.
Minnesota Lakers.
Yeah.
They count their championships as the LA Lakers. So Kirk has
Must be a
second
Minnesota
place,
thing.
Second place.
Yeah, must be a Minnesota thing.
I crumbled.
Want to know?
I collapsed badly.
I'd say you're like 0.5 and 0, but that's fine.
So we know how we're doing this draft. The depth across both genders was a little bit. That was our conversations. Like, how are we going to do this draft when there are 8 women that we know who are going to be at this race? That was the main concern on my end. Jack said it's fine. I said you're wrong. Bracken said you're wrong, and then forgot what he said. Came back later and said, actually, Jack's right. So we went with we're going to do what Jack wanted to do for this one. But overarching draft ideas to change, or just the competition ideas,
In
how we
general,
could change
yeah.
things. I know it's perfect. I know it's basically perfect what we've created. It's amazing. But what if it could be better? Right. So I had some small ideas. So, and Jack, this is going to be coming from your world a little bit. So what if we were given like,
Percent a winner?
no,
I'm
stop
just-
this. We won't.
Don't you
even
hate when
be-
you're trying to roll something out and someone starts
I'll mute.
cuts you off at the
I'll
knees?
mute.
Jeez, I'm gonna mute everybody. And what if we have some kind of like reverse card or like a block card that we can use once for the whole season? And if it's like somebody picked somebody that we wanted or something like that, or just this is going to be real advantage, they block and they can't pick that person. You could use it once a season.
Uno rules.
Uno-ish.
Everyone gets an Uno card.
Everybody gets an Uno card
Draw
At
4.
what point in the draft can you do that?
whenever you want, but only
At
once
any
the
point.
entire season.
Can you?
After somebody's already drafted them,
Yes.
you can just pull them right back into your pocket.
You could say
one
no,
time.
right? And you could use it and say, yeah, like you can use it however you want.
Could
The
we
Bracken and
Uno
I
reverse
each get
and Uno
one because
reverse?
then I'm in.
You get half. You each get half.
All right.
Is it a amorphous card where you can use it as a block, or you can use it as a I want the first pick, or use it as a skip you this round? Like, is it a all powerful card, or does it have one specific purpose?
I would lean on multiple cards if we wanted,
Oh,
but then and this is what I'm saying, this is Jack's world. Have you seen Jack's game wall? It's like,
okay.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
I having heard everything and listened to some of it, I'm going to vote for one card because if we have multiple cards, people will try to play them. Like, what if we both want the number 1 pick for the championship race and we all have it waiting? Can we all use it? Is it who plays it last? Or should we just have one you can use all year?
I think that it should be individual people, not I draft first this round, because that's like a huge effect. You get 10, 11 picks that this one card does. I think it's like, oh, you want Lindsay? No, I'm taking Lindsay. That's what I'm saying.
I would argue the person matters more than the draft order. Unless you want to draft second.
Oh, there are pros and cons of each position. I'm saying I think it should apply one single pick in your entire draft, not the order A, B, or C.
What other cards are you thinking, Rich?
I was something along those lines. Yeah, like a reverse, right? So they can pick reverse the order of the draft once per season, whatever.
I have another one, kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you phone a friend and they have to pick one for you. Like you can have Megiddo on the line or something like that. But
no bad ideas in brainstorming. Yes, and yes, and
so Megiddo picks Megiddo.
Not do that. Yeah, Megiddo picks Megiddo.
How about another one where you can go 2 times in a row, only once, but you have to use it in a certain round or later? I'm just spitballing ideas.
I think that could work the same way. Or no, I guess that wouldn't. That would be revert. That'd be like the reverse card.
Well, I thought reverse you can use to like prevent someone from getting someone. Now, and you can like stack 4th and 5th round picks.
I like one cock block card. I do like that.
We'll call it that.
We don't need to call it that.
No,
we can.
Shouldn't say that.
Put in the wheel of names. So yeah, I like a block card. That's okay. I don't know what else. Jack, from your gaming background, could there be?
Honestly, I like the Uno reverse because everybody can relate to it. Honestly,
it might get a little confusing.
I think that so there are some games where like you just eliminate a token and that card or whatever can't be used this game. Imagine if like you get that and it's like we're not picking Atkins today, and could do something like that.
I think if we get too many cards, like even more than like 2 or 3, it's going to be a gong show with all of us being able to use cards every draft. It's going to be too much of a mess. So
I like Rick's
idea.
Cap it.
Rich's idea of 1 per season total, not every week. That's good. Like we might forget about this, and then Palmerton rolls around and it's like, oh, guess what we still have? And
the corral tries to take BK. I say block.
Yeah,
and then I just don't take you. And I just leave it.
just to
I won't either.
Bite me. No one can take it.
Yeah. 1 block card per season.
I like a block card.
I'm cool with that for sure.
And it's just blocking the athlete. So yes, if you try to take Atkins, I say block. You still get your pick. He doesn't skip your pick. You just can't pick that one person. And then say, yeah, okay.
I think we should have some sort of card or rule in place for info we don't have on draft day. We need to have a rule of like, oh shoot, Atkins is coming down to Palm Beaches and we didn't know during our draft, and then we're like, who gets this person? Well, your person. I think we need to button up a system for post drafting, because
waivers
that
needs to be
has
better.
happened.
I said that yesterday.
Not. Okay, well, I didn't even read that.
When?
I said there should be no post draft ads.
Yeah.
Either that, just some sort of rule so we don't have to have this whole back end conversation.
No post draft ads, but the waiver wire is only people who are already declared. So if your person's injured or doesn't go, that's fine, but you can only replace them with someone who was already declared. So if Lindsay shows up and like I had Jezebel Kramer and now she's not going to be there and I can't grab Lindsay. Like whoever declares is the only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Only acceptable people.
I think
if you didn't get back to Jack, you're not in the draft. So
that's right.
Respond.
Yeah, answer me.
I know it's important to everybody.
I think another one, for declaring waiver order, let's just use the wheel of names.
Okay.
It's
that was
as
a little
fair
bit,
as it gets. It's random.
Okay.
We'll just do 1, 2, 3. The last 2 go head to head, and then we'll just keep that order and then snake it back if you need multiple rounds. But only
Could you use a block on waiver?
On the wheel of names is untouchable.
No, not on the wheel of names, but like
that's risky because it's like you're probably getting.
No, because it's done after the show. The block will be fun during the show.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we're getting a block card. Waivers will be by wheel of names.
So
and
the block
only
card
declared athletes.
does the block card take the athlete off the table completely, or just away from that draft at that time?
Just from that team.
Oh, so okay, so you can't get them no matter what. But that's
So if
all
you
it
pick
does.
first and Jack's second, and we want to take Atkins, and he blocks you, he can take him next.
And then you
If
can
he
block
doesn't take
him.
him,
Just block from the.
Yes.
I could use my block.
from
right away.
yeah,
Got
from
it.
that one pick, that instance.
Yes. And
Only
then
the current round.
but
Well,
if it
isn't
comes
everybody
back,
going to do this for Nicole right out of the gates because she's going to win by 15?
But you only get
minutes
one.
in a
that's how you
three-game?
want to use your block card? I'm
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to do it that
Alright.
way.
It's an 11-minute
bet
time
you
cap,
will.
so I don't think she's winning by 15.
I'm only going to use it
Leave it to
as
Nicole.
soon as Jack uses his on me. That's
Leave
it.
to
Just out of
Nicole.
spite.
Yeah.
Let's get ready. I've played a lot more board games. I know when to use this stuff.
That's something to brag about.
Yep.
That's how I like to spend my time.
Yeah.
Suck on that.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
been playing some board games too.
Wait,
Yeah,
waivers.
I haven't played a board
Williams.
game since I was 13.
Nerds.
Risk, probably.
Shoots and ladders. You guys play, right?
Mm.
That's a thing you guys do.
That's real hot these days.
I have a workout called Shoots and Ladders, and that's what's hot.
I know. That's what I was referring to.
But we've been playing Clue. I never
Bum,
played
bum,
Clue
bum,
growing
bum,
up.
bum, bum, bum. I will ignore your comment about Clue, and then we will move on to.
Here's
Oh.
the thing. I'm a detective that goes off my gut instinct, and it doesn't work well in Clue. You know,
You
I'm
seen,
outside the law, outside the lines, pushing the rules type of detective. Get it done anyway. Doesn't work on a Clue board game. I'm not very effective.
What are those movies with the dude who played James Bond? The newer ones.
Like Glass Onion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Knives Out.
And Knives Out.
Good movies. Anyway, okay, so we have waivers situated, block cards happening. What if we had a different way to tally points? That it's not just head to head, and so it's like you get 3 points for having the lowest total. You get 1 point for picking the winner. You get like 2 points for the best sleeper pick. If we have points
Bonuses?
throughout, kind of bonuses, or just that's how we calculate the time. It's like total point total as opposed to head-to-head matchups.
I'd be okay with that as long as the overall win of having the best score is the most valuable point total.
Is weighted heavier.
I don't think you should be able to pick the winner and have a sleeper pick and match being actually good.
I haven't
Yeah,
done the
it's like
math. Yeah,
If your team's average, but you have that one stud pick who no one had on their radar, you shouldn't win.
So it should be like 3-1-1 as the scoring options or something like that. But I don't hate it.
I just think like something very like simplify it. Like each team's last pick, whoever had the highest performance of all teams' last pick gets a point. Like something as simple as that. Something that doesn't get blurry, right? Like who was our last pick? Good call. They finished the highest of all last picks. And
Sometimes you end up
Mr.
picking
Irrelevant.
KBB in round.
it's
10 now.
irrelevant. Sure, every
Mr. Relevant now.
exactly. I think just cleaning it up and making it very straightforward, like a couple options that are like very cut and dry, like that.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think simpler is better. Just they do it cross country scoring. Let's just keep it. We've done it 2 years in a row.
I
You
think
kind of already have a worked in advantage by having a good sleeper pick anyway, because they might contribute to your score. I don't know. I think just keep it simple.
I think whoever has the best team score gets 10 points. No, let's call it 100. Let's call it 1,000 points. And then you get a percentage of their score based on your percentage of theirs. So if you had
That sounds like a good
25%
idea.
more points than them, you get 25% less points. I
That's a
think
great idea.
percentage of
What about-
winners is the only way to go.
Bracking your.
What about
cheeks.
something like I mean, clearly I'm stuck on this idea, but like the worst first round pick, you get docked a point,
We
or you
get
a point
penalized.
added. And then the best last round pick you receive, or I think minus a point would be the way it would work. But like just on both ends, there's more pressure to those picks instead of us being like Chris Bob Brown every time. We're like, he's not even in the race. Like we might actually have to figure it out. And so being penalized for the worst first pick and being rewarded for the best last pick, I could get on board with just a single point or two swing on each end. I think that would be fun.
I think we combine it. I think we have our season standings as usual, and then we have our chase for the cup in terms of the bet or whatever has to happen at the end of the year
side
happens
wager.
on bonus points, on high risers, flops, picking the winner. that kind of thing.
I
Okay.
was keeping track of plus minus also. I forgot to follow up on it most of the year, but if that's what we want to do, where it's like, oh, you pick so-and-so in the 4th round, but they should have been a 2nd round value, you get +2, or, we keep track of that, see who really reached and over or underperformed at that point.
Listen, as long as I'm not forced to keep track of any of this shit, I'm on board for
I got
anything.
it.
We
I'll
already
make a
have the
spreadsheet.
Bauer objective obstacle-based system
Yep.
for that.
Absolutely. What's that acronym?
I don't know. I don't do math.
You don't do math? Yeah.
Boob.
Z.
Plural.
Yeah.
So
Where are the boobs?
okay, cool. So I'll have 2 different scores, and we'll just have the secondary point system one be some other side situation.
Yeah.
I think the other rule that we need to talk about, we did 5-5-1, so 5 men, 5 women, 1 wild card of either gender last year. If we don't have enough people who got back to me in one gender, we'll adjust the splits. So
that's what we'll do this.
Case by case.
As we'll see this week.
Case by case. Ideally, it'll be 5-5-1, but when we have situations where you aren't going to have 15 known athletes from either gender, we'll reduce it or raise it as needed.
Okay.
I vote yes.
Also,
I vote
yes.
Also, yes.
We'll work out the details on like what is counted and everything later, because we need to do this.
I think
Kirk's
the
looking
most
hungry.
I think the
No,
most.
I ate before this. I'm learning.
Big brain.
I think the most anticipated wheel of names of the season is about to happen.
For sure. Let me see. I'll pull that guy up.
Yeah.
All right. And I was gonna just kind of run through the rules, but Bracken, you want to do the rules while I pull this up? Could you do that, you think?
First rule is rules of what?
The draft. All right, we go in snake order.
You have to. I don't know what the rules are.
None of the rules.
I'm here to win, not follow rules. Rich. Snake order. Whoever gets the first pick, whoever wins the wheel gets to choose where they pick. We're snake ordering, so you go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We have a block this year we're playing, and that's it.
And that's the rules. Cross country scoring. This particular one, Jack, how are we doing this? We're doing.
Close his ads.
Look at the smart food popcorn on the
relevant.
side. Got to go on YouTube if you want to see these fabulous ads. Oh,
Full screen.
Yeah.
Dark mode. Jack, tell us how we're drafting for this particular Palm Beach Spartan 3K
So
situation.
specifically this time we're doing 7 men, 3 women, 1 of either gender for the wild card. Just because not everybody got back to me, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm doing Big Bear, or I've got Go Ruck games this weekend, or Hyrox. I'm just not going to Palm Beach." So I just didn't get the confirmed numbers. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're doing 7 men, 3 women, 1 of either gender.
But they have to be drafted in the first 6
Oh
rounds.
yeah, that's the other. Since we're doing 3 women, just so that you can't just take them all right away or wait till the end, and we're doing. All of us have to draft 3 men and 3 women in any order that we want within the first 6 rounds, so that by the time round 7 starts, we have an equal of each gender, and then it's all guys from there, except for the wild card.
Because there are only 9 women declared. It's important to know. There are only 3 options for each team.
Yes.
9 women that are on our radar. There could be some dark.
Yeah, we would hope that there are more. Because what are they going to do? Put like heats of 3?
I don't know.
And then like it'll be like what was that silly one where Hildervat, where it was they did rounds starting at 5, they did 3 rounds, whittling 5 to 3 or 5 to 2 or something like that. So that's what it could be.
Would they go straight to finals?
You got to make them run at least 1K round, I think. Just to
what do you
get
whittle it down to? The rules say 15 make finals.
No, if you look at the rules, and even Steve said this when he was, I don't know if you were here for that one, Bracken. I think Kirk was there. You weren't. But Steve said it's the top 2/3 make the round 2.
What Zendesk says.
Okay, I'm just going
I
off
read
what
Zendesk yesterday because I signed up for Palmerton.
I think they'll make them run and make
There
them
we
just
go.
get a fit. They'll have to complete the course. They have to prove they can complete the 1K round twice
would walk
before
it.
going in.
in
Well,
under
yeah,
11
fine, of
minutes.
course.
I think that's the cutoff.
Yeah, so they'll still make them run it
Yeah,
twice. I
We
would
can-
it's
assume.
good.
I mean, we've
It's gonna be
basically
dynamic.
speculated what this is going to be like for the past 4 months, 5 months.
Year.
So let's just draft this thing. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Wheel of names time. Getting the audio in? Oh, this was looking
Not
good.
feeling good about this. No.
Ah.
Oh, bull.
Hey! Bum, 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 ba-da, bum, ba-da, bum,
What was that Nicole comment? She's gonna win by 15 minutes.
bum. Hey, she will.
This is
All right, I'm
trash.
cool with this. Whatever.
This
Maybe if you
wheel
got the
names.
ad-free version, you wouldn't have it backfire on your red.
Tra-
Can I pull a block
Trash.
to move Jack to last?
That's fine. Do it. Go ahead.
Use your block.
Start it off.
All right. Corral, when do you want to draft?
Rich, let me share my screen.
It should be good, is it not?
Okay. Oh no, yeah, you can now.
Kirk, is there any other spot we'd like to draft other than first?
No.
Numero
Can we see the
draft
roster, please?
numero uno.
I'd like you to welcome the audience back to the corral
Look,
taking triple. the amount
We'll
of
do it
time
after.
needed.
We'll pick teams and then we'll go to the roster because we're gonna break down everybody anyway.
Jack, what pick do you want?
I'm just gonna go next in line and pick second. So
will pick
Rich,
I will go ahead and
Double
pick third.
first.
there's no waiver. I'm just gonna hide this.
This is going to be stupid. I can't wait for how stupid this is going to be.
All right. Here are the list of athletes who got back to me.
That is 9 women, huh? 9 women and
9,
what do we got? 22 men.
11. Yeah, 22. That's all I'm seeing. Capitalizing.
All right.
Kirk, would you like to make the inaugural 2023 draft pick? Since I got to read the rules and nailed it.
Crushed.
Ah!
Ding, ding,
Nicole
ding,
Miracle,
ding.
please.
All right.
Full miracle.
We are drafting her based off body of work. We don't care what type of fitness she's in. Nicole, at her best, second best, or third best, all due respect to Yanka Popova, should win this race handily.
I agree.
Ugh.
She's the only Spartan world champion in this field.
This is like a run on kickers. Jack's got to go Yanka now. You got to grab him.
You might not do it.
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to go Ryan Kempson, just what he's done so far. He's hot right now.
Nice.
Admirable pick, Jack.
I previously wrote in a post that they should just put VJ's name on all the trophies this year, and Kempson wasn't too happy about that. And I think after what happened in Savage Race a couple weeks ago, I mean, he's currently the man to beat. Do I think VJ will end up winning the series, assuming he does it all? Yeah, but I think Kempson right now is tough to beat.
Savage is twice as long as
It's
this
true.
race.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Kempson's done really well early season though in shorter races.
Kempson's done how many Savages compared to VJ's done what, like 3, 2?
It's fine. This is like the first time I haven't picked VJ in the first round, so it feels weird. But I'm queuing him up for his coach to take him if he wants to.
I'm gonna take. Hold on. So
Oh, one more rule thing just for people who are new. You can't keep your first 2 picks in a future draft. But after that, round 3 on, you can keep that person in the same exact position. You just give up next week or next race's pick in that same exact position in order to keep that athlete.
yeah, right. So I guess it doesn't matter. I was thinking. So I am gonna take VJ here. Give me the homie. It's gonna be a
What
battle.
are your thoughts?
One of
Yeah.
the most exciting battles I think that I've watched in OCR in the past, I don't know, ever, was Kempson versus VJ at the OCR World Championship 3K last season.
Stratton, yeah.
And this is, I don't know, with these obstacles being less technical, does it favor either athlete here, or is it just kind of
VJ can carry like somebody's like beyond what we realize he can carry in and out. I'm not saying Kempson can't, but I know if that factors in, VJ's odds go way up.
My only thoughts: Gainesville super flat, Palm Beach super flat, and Kempson has the foot speed right now to run away.
You
Just
think
this specific? I don't, and by run away, I don't think it's going to be a blow up by any means.
What do you think
VJ
Kempson could have run a
win.
mile in last 2 weeks ago?
What do you think Sean could have? He wasn't too far behind him there.
Did you answer my question with a completely irrelevant question?
He beat him in a
Prob-
10K. Let's be clear on that.
V-
That is not
VJ
a foot speed event.
That's not a
VJ
foot
went
speed event.
441 at altitude.
At
right, or
altitude. Do
440.
you think Kempson could run 435 right now? Has he ever run that fast in his life?
I don't know.
You know
We'll
what's
see.
what this comes down to in an aspect is like, let's say the Hyrox happens to be in the festival area and then is included in the 3K. Well, VJ outweighs Kempson by 30 pounds, and the Hyrox 3 times in a 3K could be 5 seconds a hoist. It could
Yeah.
make a huge difference. Like knowing the course, it could be a horses for courses kind of situation. Not saying Kempson's a slow Hyrox, or not saying VJ is necessarily fast, but point being, like, my guess would be he'd hoist faster based on body weight. And if that's 3 times, that could be the difference maker. We don't know those things yet. So like we have yet to see what's going to happen there.
VJ's done Spartan Cross before.
I'm well aware. Like I could easily be wrong right there, and
Kempson's
VJ's
more
never let
race
me
sharp.
down.
Kempson's
OCR
more
race
race sharp.
My entire strategy of this year is getting good at the Herc hoist, hoping that just banking that I hit and Palmerton has the Herc hoist every lap. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
That's
should.
your hope. All I know is VJ doesn't have to pull his pants down again. So
Yeah.
whatever it does to avoid that.
Well, Gomer Pyle action. I didn't realize Gomer Pyle wasn't the name of the guy in Full Metal Jacket. That was his nickname. Gomer Pyle's like a whole old school, whatever. I'm gonna take Yanka Popova here.
All right. 5th in Abu Dhabi.
This is strange that she's coming over for this. Does she just happen to be here?
She is racing. I've known about it for a couple months that she was planning on coming over. They have a European series, but it's normal sprints and supers and stuff as part of their series to qualify you for a one-off 3K championship. It's really weird. So maybe she just wanted to race a bunch of 3Ks, or she just wanted a vacation to Florida.
Not to pile on Spartan right now. I'm sure we're going to do enough of that this year.
Yeah.
But it is wild that taking second in the series won't cover your expenses for the series, and taking second in this first race won't cover her expenses for the race.
Not even close.
That's wild. National series. It's wild.
It really is.
It's a good point.
Well, when there's freaking 3 women at the start line, what do you want them to win?
What do I want them to win?
I mean, it's not very competitive. That's all I'm saying. I've seen DecaFit start lists that are more prominent than this, and DecaFit pays out almost as much. So I guess that's the reason.
Yep.
Bauer, you're
All
up.
right. You guys are going to have some pretty solid picks, but I can't not get one of the best women at this point. So I'm going Miranda.
Ah,
Yeah.
garbage
We-
pick.
we would've
Jack.
taken her.
That's a garbage
Yeah.
pick right there.
I almost took her over Yanka.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at my chops.
I mean,
Now
Miranda
it's splitting
was
hairs.
she was 4th or 5th at Blue Mountain. I thought OCR World she was also right around top 5 in the 15K. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm confusing that with a different race, but I thought she did really well there. And yeah, she can obstacle. She's done Savage races. She wouldn't be signing up for this. She loves shorter stuff if she didn't think she'd do well. So I've got a lot of confidence in her.
She's done really well in stadiums, state ions in the past. I know she's been pretty serious about improving her obstacle ability.
Yeah.
So she should do well.
I knew that I was either going to get Yanka or Miranda, so I'm happy with either of those.
You knew that?
Yeah. You probably weren't going to let me have VJ in 5, so I figured I'd get a woman back.
It's a good pick. That's what I would have taken.
Yeah.
If I was taking a female. But we're not necessarily. Kirk, I have
Okay.
one that I need to have. I need to have Tyler Bierman.
I'm gonna argue with you.
You got 2 picks.
And then the other one, you take whoever you need to have.
So type in Tyler.
Question, side
Not
question.
yet. We're not typing in Tyler yet. We're
Okay.
going to take him with the second pick.
That big brain.
Just trying to lure you in.
Do we know course conditions here? Are they going to be in the muck, in the gunk, or are
No
we on a
muck.
golf course?
Couldn't tell you.
I can't because it's going to be at the festival area.
There was a lot of rain in that area of Florida less than a week ago, so it's probably not going to be dry.
But it's also
Just
not going to
makes
be
it
in like the
different.
marsh because you need to do a 1K course and get 10
Yeah.
obstacles in that amount of space.
We don't want to get eaten by gators, so yeah.
I'm guessing it's going to
Since
be pretty
old
fine.
school Spartan, I haven't seen a nasty festival area. Like slip mud everywhere.
Chicago 20.
Chicago 2018, right?
Yeah.
That was soup.
That
that wasn't
qualifies
by
as
their
old school
design.
now.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right.
There's somebody on here who I think is going to be an unpopular choice on the men's side.
Okay.
So I'm looking. Honestly, I've raced Alvaro in Florida, and he is a quick obstacler. It is if it's pancake, if it's muddy, count him out. He's out. He ain't gonna compete. But if it's hard packed and it's flat and runnable, he scares me. And I know that seems like a strange early pick. Otherwise, him or Botras, or then I'm waffling over Casey Monroe would be my women's choice right now. Coming off Savage, had a tough one. She's going to be ready for this. Even though she had a tough Savage, I'm not worried about her on this course. So that's what I'm waffling over, Bracken.
Okay. I think that
So-
Casey will be gone and Alvaro might not be by the time he comes back around to us.
That's true. Okay, let's do those two. Easy enough. Good logic.
Casey, then Tyler, Your Honor.
In that order.
In that
Yes.
order.
All right. So now you got a keeper pick next time.
Who's also a world champion
Yeah, I know.
in the last OCR race he ran, not counting WTM.
Second to last. Yeah. He also just ran 50K this past weekend.
That might have
But-
been involved. Yeah. You knock it off over there, Jack.
Honestly, no, Tyler, even though he just did that, like it's no different than when Chris does it. It's like, okay, well,
He's
50K,
young
big
enough.
deal.
He'll come
Yeah.
back. He's young enough. He's got pep in his step. He'll be
Exactly.
fine. I saw him. He raced something and then went to Jacksonville and raced back to back. Well, last February, and he won both days coming off of something. I forget what it was, and he looked fine to me. So
It was another
did it
50K or
once.
something.
I think
A
so.
marathon
He
in
did
the
it
mountain,
once.
maybe a marathon.
He can do it again. Yeah, he ran well too. So
All right. Next pick. Since we need to have 3 women off the board, I'm gonna pick another woman. She actually just ran a 1750 for a 5K like a week or so ago. I'm going Berenice Barrera from Mexico.
Bernice, double B.
Yeah, so she's got some serious speed. She's done well, like basically wins or gets second in every single race down in Mexico. I think she was top 5 when they had the Puebla race last year, if I'm not mistaken. And she's done Big Bear before. I know this isn't anything like Big Bear, but she's coming over and is really fast foot speed wise. So got to take her off the board.
Great. Nice job.
Buen trabajo.
I don't feel like the Mexicans race very well in the U.S. I'm just going to throw that out there. They historically have had very poor performances.
We'll see.
Big time.
Crossing border.
Well, she
Somehow
probably won't get worse than 9.
Mexico, they suddenly, it's like they're juiced up when they race in Mexico and they come across the border and they lay eggs, Jack. Just saying.
We'll see. We'll see.
Chikorita and Angel are the only exceptions to that rule.
And Angel in recent times laying eggs. So, just saying.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Maybe
I
out.
wouldn't
I'm
bet
done.
against double B though.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
We have a
I-
barbecue joint half a block away called Double B's, and it just always smells like barbecue, and they're always smoking their
That's
meats
a
all day
shocker.
long.
Yeah.
Double B. That alone makes me want to root for her.
All right, back to back, Rich. Who you got?
Taking Batris.
Yeah, that was who I was considering because I'm like, he's just too
starts the
fast.
years sharp.
He's got a calf issue.
He does.
Doesn't he always have something?
Yeah,
He DNF'd his last race.
at Savage in Georgia.
Long race. He's good
Well,
to go.
he
talking to
DNF'd
him
on
when
like
I
the
was
first
in-
half mile.
I was talking to Mark in SoCal when I went there and raced late January, and he didn't race because of his calf, and it has notably impacted his training as well. However, like even Batris at 80% is probably going to be pretty competitive. It all comes down again. You get a heavy Hercois 3 times, and you get somehow Hammond sticks in a double carry, and then I worry for him.
Steve's not getting there till Thursday, so I don't think he's designing it.
Maybe it's the same person as the Hyrox.
If you got Mark at 80% for the whole race, you take him.
Yeah.
But Mark's a ground stabber, and he's an aggressive runner, and that doesn't mix well with a calf with a lot of obstacles, jumping on, jumping off, accelerating aggressively. If you just knew he was going to complete the course at 80%, he's a no-brainer. It's just a gamble. Will he be healthy enough?
I just like that he's going to be competitive.
No,
He's not
for sure.
going to care. He's going to stick his nose in it. He's not going to
Love
care
it.
like what the circumstances are around this. Like you're going to see him in the front of every heat and of the final. And if the calf, like he'll be there and he's going to put it all out there. He's not afraid.
You taking your boy
Not
now?
afraid to win. Nick Mask, let's go.
I love watching Mark race, by the way, just as a tip of the
And
hat
Nick.
to him. When you know Mark is in the race, it's like, all right, we're going to see Mark up front. And he's going to stick his nose in there and he'll give us something to watch, whether he blows up epically or
Totally.
wins. I love watching him race. So
Mhm.
that's
That'd
not a
be fun.
bad call.
This is something we've wanted to see from Batris. Like, what could he do on a flat? I mean, injury notwithstanding, but what could he do on a flat OCR course? Can anybody do anything with him? And then Nick Mask, he's run under 420 this year on an
He
actual
was 417, I thought. Yeah, indoor.
indoor.
Yeah.
He got that kind of speed right now. That might be the fastest current OCR mile time
Sean.
of all time.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You never know. Like Sean,
Like while they're competing in
The
OCR.
fastest
You think, John?
in the same calendar year as an OCR, I think that is.
I think so.
Gotta be. Yeah. Wow.
No, probably Jack. I'm blanking on him. David Torrance.
Anthony Riccardi, John Riccardi.
David Torrance.
Oh, yeah.
He ran Tahoe one year.
Oh,
But that
did
was
he?
a one-off.
That
DNF'd.
doesn't count.
He
That doesn't
DNF'd.
count.
Of the
Yeah.
non-one-offs, this is the fastest track time we've seen during an OCR calendar.
I don't know if it was 417, but it was under 420.
Okay.
I think it was
flying.
17. That's what I
He won,
remember.
and he won
Indoor.
also.
Yeah, I think it
So-
was 419. But
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, he won this indoor race against collegiate athlete, just cracking skulls.
Super spikes. I don't buy it.
These indoor tracks.
It's probably worth
Indoors-
the 440.
Indoor is faster than outdoor all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I think, and I mean, he's going out of his way to go to this. I mean, this isn't a close race. This is something he's committed to. So I think he's going to be one to mix it up.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Jack's in a tough spot.
I am. Do I take another woman or do I take someone who could podium? And
I
I'll
think
bump.
both are available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do too.
it's valid.
I don't think so.
I am going to go with someone who I ran with recently
Mm,
from Europe, Leon Kofod. I think he is the longer.
Food? That's how it is.
I think it's like a soft D.
Kofu?
We don't like that.
Kofod.
go food.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could be wrong. I mean, he can speak 5 languages and he'd correct me very quickly. But I
He
think
only
at
needs to
this-
speak the one that his name's pronounced in.
I can't speak
Which is-
Danish.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think just I know that VJ had a tough time. He did just beat VJ. He wasn't too far back at Kempson and Sean. The more obstacles you combine in a short course where you have to get in and out of stuff, it's going to play to his advantage. He's not going to fail anything grip wise. I think people are underestimating how much by round 3, like lap 3 of round 3, like your grip's actually going to be taxed a little bit, especially at a higher heart rate. Because this isn't a beast where you can just kind of buffer the lactate a little bit. I think it's going to pump people more than you realize, and he's fit right now.
He's just so small. Like he is.
Wow.
It's not like a not
know you're really-
just like I'm just stating facts. If there's going to be multiple carries, Hercois, things that are size matters in Spartan, it just does.
Who in this race has beat John Albin in a race?
In a Spartan?
Not in a Spartan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is something that's going to be continued. Like how much time could he actually gain on monkey bars that are not hard that he could lose in a carry or in a Hercoist? Like
I think it's like the crawls and just the quick in and out of stuff. Like people hesitate. I know you picked Mark Botras right before then. He's super fast, but he isn't always super aggressive getting in and out of stuff. And, might be a few seconds faster on the run, but Leon just makes up time, as does Kempson, as does VJ. Like that's a huge difference maker. Nicole on the women's side makes up time and she's faster. That's why she puts even bigger gaps on people. But I don't know. I feel confident with Leon. I've gone running with him recently, and that's usually a good indicator of success. So
there are 30 minimum transition opportunities in the final. And that's enough to cancel out the heavy carry, in my opinion. That's a full minute for a good transitional obstacler, and Leon is a great transitional obstacler. Same thing with Kempson, same thing with Tyler, same thing with VJ. But with 30 opportunities minimum to do the thing he's best at, it cancels out 3 opportunities with someone else.
And there's no double sandbag. It's going to be a bucket carry, according to that's what Steve mentioned on our episode.
Depends on depends on what the course is.
What's there. I don't think they're having a sandbag carry. I think it's just literally a bucket carry. That's not enough. Double sandbag, then I'm going with someone who's got strength. But you nailed it, Bracken, with like 30 opportunities to just make up ground, just by being fast, getting
that's assuming he's that much better than everybody else at it, which
you have to be partially better if you get to do it 30 times. What it is that constantly reinserting yourself, like fresh start, you're back in it. Fresh start, you're back in it. Fresh start, you're back in it. That wears on people. So I didn't pick him ahead of several. I mean, everyone who's on the board, I wouldn't have picked him ahead of, but I could see him beating almost every one of those guys.
Yeah. So I think of him as like a really good slot receiver in the NFL. Like he's not some 6'5",
because he's small and white. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I see where you're going.
Makes sense. Great. I'm a Patriots fan after all. But no, it's like he doesn't look that impressive, but he gets it done. He's going to put up results. And like I said, I went running with him recently. So
you did say that. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. We can close this out
once. But
I do think that there are only 2 or 3 people in the entire field that have a thing they do better than everyone else, and he has one of those. And in a short little race like this, having a calling card really does matter.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know that everyone in this field would struggle with some of those courses I've seen him complete. It has to count for something.
There's a lot of unknown in the 3K also.
This is the least technical course that an obstacle racer could
just going off of Kent and Hunter talking about how pumped out their forearms were by lap 3 of Spartan Games.
Okay.
Yeah, what if there's no hoist?
If there's no hoist, right. If there's no hoist,
rig.
Yeah, could be.
Sprint rig. Just rings.
Super long barbed wire.
Yeah. That's all it is. All right. Kirk Bracken back to back.
Now what round? We're 4 and 5. So
if we're looking at the totals right now,
you don't have to take a woman here.
Yes.
Yep. If you don't want.
Well, Kirk, what are your thoughts? I have 2 pretty solid picks. I think they only overlap 1 with yours. I would go Heather and Sean Stevens-Whale, and I think you would probably go Heather and Alvaro.
Alvaro's racing in his home state on flat ground at sea level. Sean Stevens-Whale is a mountain athlete. Yes, he's good. He's not terribly quick on obstacles as far as I've seen. So I would easily pick Alvaro over Sean. No disrespect to Sean. If it was a different race, I'd pick something else.
That's disrespect.
All right.
But that's just my thought on that. I don't know Sean's flat running prowess or his 20-minute race prowess. I haven't seen anything to prove to me that we could bet on him. Have you?
Not personally. My take is always, if you can climb hard, you can do anything. But Listen, if you got a feeling about Alvaro, we take Alvaro.
Dude,
Yeah.
guy's probably sleeping in his own bed the night before the race, and he's going to be aggressive. At least he'll be another one who's in the race. He's a Mark Batras. He's the Spanish Mark Batras. Actually, he's Mexican. So yeah,
Mark Batras is
that
the
works.
Spanish Mark
He's,
Batras.
no, he's Mexican. It's different. I would really like Alvaro on this one.
All right, let's take him.
National record holder in the steeple.
Yes.
Put him on there. You know,
There are
it's good.
no other national record holders in this field.
No.
What nation does he hold this? in?
Nicaragua.
It's like a 904 or something.
Oh, he's Nicaraguan. Silly me.
We scoff at it, but in this sport, how many 9-0 steeplechasers are there?
Rich.
0. Oh, what was your time, Rich?
We can
908.
ask. Yeah.
Nick was not. Oh, he was just.
I thought he was not. I thought he got like second at nationals and
It was like NAIA.
Rich,
No-
you were
no-
908?
My sophomore year too. Yeah, and I fell that race. I had some
oof.
good potential. Then I just sucked the rest of my time.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Should have come D3 with us.
That would have been all American that year for
That'd have
sure.
been fun.
You might have won.
I could have won.
He didn't trip.
And then,
Ah.
Kirk, is there a reason not to take Heather?
Ashley Heller, would she be the reason not to take Heather?
Who's actually better at this? We haven't seen Ashley do anything like this, have we?
No,
And Heather beat a bunch of people in the test race where there wasn't a
undefeated.
depth of field.
She's got pistol experience now.
Ashley lives in the mountains. She probably got pistol experience.
Was that the first? That was the first pistol mention, I think. That's a game changer. It actually could be. And VJ, we know, sharpshooter.
It's true.
And do you think in Denmark they got guns?
Not too many.
Is VJ a sharpshooter?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we saw him at Spartan Games. He was lighting it up, and he shot for us at Gov Games. There was a stupid little.
Nailed it.
He was killing it. He was nasty. People came up to him after, like, "Dude, nice shooting." It was like a Nerf gun.
Just balls. Yeah.
Bracken, who would outrun who in a 5K, Ashley or Heather?
I honestly don't know.
I know.
Oh, okay, Jack. Who'd win in a 5K?
Whoever you don't pick.
Well, that
I mean,
can't
that
be
doesn't
true.
make
I'll tell you
That
after.
doesn't make any sense.
Makes perfect sense, Jack. Got him.
Honestly, I want to take Heather.
I'll give you that. I was fighting for Alvaro, so you take Heather.
All right, Heather Golnick.
Who has nearly 50 elite podiums after the age of 40, including that 3K test trial, like Kirk alluded to. So,
Jack,
So
do you
who
have
is
some
the
info
faster
for us?
5K?
no, I think that they're actually, I was kind of deciding who I would have gone with in this case. And I wasn't sure. So you made it easy for me, but I think that they'll be evenly matched. Ashley definitely has a short track background. I thought she was an 800 and a 1500 runner. Rich, I thought you interviewed her a while back, but
Yeah, I think she's under
There's a
220, under 220 for a half.
800.
Got that toe running down, that forefoot running down.
yeah.
She hasn't.
Oh.
She showed up to a couple of decas. I think she was sick at one, but the most recent one she just didn't finish.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
And
I don't
then
know
she
if
ran.
this
Yeah.
output is something that she enjoys.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. She got fourth in one of the U.S. National Series races a year or two ago. Like a lot of high end potential. And I think she's the best woman left on the board. And I've got to pick one either this round or next round. And I'm taking her. And so Rich can't have her.
Both her and Heather are what, altitude mountain livers, and they're going to run.
Heather
sea
lives in
level.
Virginia now.
Oh, she moved.
Yeah,
a-
she's sea
she's a
level
co-
adapted now.
Well,
She's a
that's
coach
sea
at,
level
like, Liberty.
adapted.
Yeah.
If I had known that off the top, I went to fought Bracken on it a little bit. It's good to know.
Yep. So right now, Rich has to pick both women.
We just have so few data points to work off of, and Heather's done one.
right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like,
She knows how to run in, pick the pistol up, and what to do. That alone
she's-
could be worth a few seconds.
Yeah, but they're all going to learn in their rounds by the time they get to the finals. Like they're not going to have to.
No,
risk
I'm not
it.
saying it's the game changer, but it's something.
It's something.
Now we have two good last names left, Best
That's-
and Rich.
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would fall.
So
to
what's
me.
your order? Because you have to take both of them, just in case you want a keeper.
man, this is some pressure here. I got Julie Best or Sarah Rich. I'm taking Sarah Rich first.
She actually podiumed in Palm Beach last year.
Nice.
And he knew that.
And I knew that, and I think she'll do it again.
Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. I haven't heard that movie forever.
Let's do it.
And then Julie Best after.
Podium.
Double podium. So Nicole, Sarah, and Julie is your podium.
Could be.
All right.
You know, this
Kicking
is a
out Yanka.
whole new format we're dealing with here.
Yeah. Well, I think
so now we're done with the women. All the women have been, all the women have been selected. So now
they're
dudes.
Yeah.
What are the chances, fellas? What are the chances that there is like a CrossFit woman who decides to come in and do this and does well? Like, what are the real potentials for there being a dark horse that isn't on our radar into this type of event?
I think you can see a Ninja Warrior, like a Michelle Warnke, someone who could run and they do well.
But are there any, like, do we know how many people are registered? Like, how many are actually showing up? We have 9.
I had a lot of women and men say like, "Hey, I'm not doing this one, but I'll be a big bear. I just want to see how this one goes. I'm doing Go Ruck Games. It's a date conflict."
I think the question is, Jack, and I know you can't fathom this, but what if you don't?
They're not interested. Also, yeah.
No. What if you just don't know who the person is?
That's true.
Could this be
very valid?
I think the chances are pretty high, Kirk. I mean,
that's what I think.
There's 9 people that we know.
Just some really fit gym goer who runs casually and realizes they're good at this
and gets 7th.
And they get right. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I
think you see it in the rounds.
I bet these are not the top 9.
I agree with you.
Someone will blitz the rounds, but lap 3, it's just going to be rough on some people. A Ninja Warrior type, a CrossFit type, you're going to cross the 20-minute mark and they're just not going to be running very much.
There could be some age groupers.
We saw the CrossFit people do it. We saw it in Spartan Games. They got reduced down to a waddle really quickly.
I agree that I don't think but there could be like an age grouper who
for
does
sure
well and comes in, and then this is enough for them that they are obstacle proficient enough, and it's not so much endurance. I'd be willing to see that would be something that would happen over like a CrossFit.
This won't be 1 through 9. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yep.
And it could be a local CrossFitter. I don't think a good CrossFitter would do great at this.
I think you could see someone like Cassidy Watton if she wanted to show up and hasn't done it for years. Like she lives in the Miami area, she could do well. Something like that.
Yeah.
Where are the Criglianos?
I think they live in DC now.
Yeah. Someone like that could show up.
Yeah.
There could be a Lauren Weeks type.
Yeah. Oh,
anyone who does Savage.
Yeah. Yep. But based on the names that I'm aware of so far, this is what we got.
All right. We appreciate the work you've done for us, Jack.
Yeah.
Thank
you
usual.
Okay.
Matt Bracken, Jack.
Dudes.
All right. I think there's a huge correlation between doing well on a flat sandy beach and walking on an escalator for an hour in a row in a Nick Simmons video. So I got to go Sean Stevens Whale, who just won $10,000 by outlasting everybody in a Nick Simmons challenge. I don't know if you guys watched that.
It's amazing. It's the greatest thing.
I didn't watch it.
It was like entertaining enough
in there, so that was pretty fun to see.
He beat what?
Moralia.
Mike Moralia.
What was the competition exactly? This isn't on my radar even a little.
Rich, you want it?
Yeah, I've talked to John a little bit about this. So he saw that Nick Simmons put up some cryptic message about some sort of stair climbing challenge that would be in Vegas. So Sean messaged him. He's like, I'm interested. Found a cheap flight from BC to Vegas in like a day. This was a really quick turnaround. And he showed up. There was 10 people that were taking on this challenge. They all had book bags on. And I guess there's the world's largest escalator in Vegas at this new hotel or something like that. And basically they just had to walk up the down escalator, and whoever the last one on there was the winner, and he gave out $10K. During the competition, he was asking like fairly basic trivia questions, and if you missed it, you got a gallon of water put into this bag. And Sean did a little bit of research, and he had was carrying less weight and is also a better athlete than everybody there by like a lot. like he was the
He's a
best-
national mountain running team member.
He's a
Yeah.
elite tower runner doing
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
It could have been anything, and
It was like, what year did the hotel open? And he's like, I did research 2020, and everyone else failed. And it's like, all right, here's 8 pounds of water.
It was like,
And
what's the
then-
tallest mountain in North America?
Yeah.
Bracken.
Pikes Peak.
Oh my goodness, it's not even the
McKinley.
tallest in
That's not even top 10 in Colorado.
Colorado. Yes, McKinley, right? That's Denali.
Yeah.
Denali, yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me my gallon.
Yeah.
Gallon challenge for Bracken.
Yep.
I thought you said, what's the tallest mountain you ever ran in North America?
That Bracken
No, yeah.
Crocker has ever run. What's Nick Simmons' middle name? Bracken, you know that one.
Richard.
Where was he born? No.
It started with a B. I forget what it was already.
Bohemian.
Butthead.
Bohemian. Yep. Nick Bohemian Simmons.
Buns face.
Buns. That.
All right. And SSW, I think he could do pretty well in this 3K.
He I don't know. I feel like he did really well in the first OCR stars with some of the grip stuff, which really impressed me. So I don't think he's gonna suffer as much, even though he's definitely known as a mountain runner. Like, he can still obstacle, and I think that's gonna go far for him.
And if you can stair run, you can be anaerobic. It's really hard. You have
Yeah.
to live in this.
He's feeling confident. He's won $10,000, beating some of the best climbers in the world.
Have you run with him
Nothing to
lately?
lose.
Not lately, no.
Mm.
And he's coming off of his best OCR season he's ever had.
Yeah,
Right? Third at North American Championships. He's super competitive, and
yeah.
I'm sure he's not afraid of any of these athletes that are out here. So he's just thinking this
Look,
could
he's
be
like he's got red hair. He graduated with a civil engineering degree in 2011. Drives a decade old Honda Civic. So like, we're very similar. So
sun sensitive.
exactly, yeah. So I can't let him go.
Are you guys going to have a special tent you're going to disappear into in between each round?
Oh yeah, lockdown. Yep.
I mean,
Those like
you
you know
should
those
bring a
spray
tent.
tans. All those we have a spray sunscreen thing that we're going to use.
Just
Just
getting
get
in there.
Slippery hands. You're
No,
gonna
I'll wear
greasy.
gloves.
He's got
Yeah.
gloves on.
Yeah.
Corral, you got dudes. We have a ton of dudes to pick. It's too many dudes.
Kirk, you take one. I'll take one.
Well, I'm gonna go with, even though I don't like him right now, Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really? You're stealing me from me? I was taking me next.
Use your block. Use your
I dare
block.
you.
Use your block.
I can't this early. The season's too young.
Oh,
gonna
I
go-
won't let
I'm
you
gonna go
down
with-
though.
I'm
you're
gonna go
only
with Jack
guaranteed
Bauer.
today.
Use your block.
Jack Bauer's larger than life right now. Can't you tell his chest has been puffed out ever since DECA SoCal
Oh my
or
goodness.
NorCal, wherever the heck it was? It's
Showing
like
up
this
late
guy's running
to-
on ego and bravado alone.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that
Yep. It's
his
dangerous.
finish is going to be astounding.
We're going off people who have made podiums recently, and Jack wants Manuel Defoe. He wants to say the name. He wants to talk about it. That's fine. He can have him. We're going Ethan Brown.
Another podium guy.
That's
raced
what I
a
said. We're
lot.
going off recent podiums.
Was
Yeah,
he just
racing a lot.
at San Diego?
Yep. Yes, he was. Took the double win, I believe.
That's Sunday.
Glenn won
Glenn got
day
it.
two. Glenn likes
he
to
took the
snipe these
Sunday
day
one.
two
Yeah,
races.
Glenn's Mr. Snipe.
Kirk's not
He's
over
just
it.
like, a little butthurt. Yep.
Yeah.
Glenn would have been good in this format.
I think he'll show up to Big Bear. I'd like to see him there. But yeah.
Glenn's grindy. He can do it, but he's one of those people that just isn't fast in, on, and out of obstacles, and he will readily admit that.
Yeah.
He's got the engine for it.
So Ethan is the young blonde kid, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, Kirk, you
Yep.
raced him. Okay. Yeah. So he's definitely, he's got some wheels and he's confident this year.
Mhm.
He's probably more race ready than almost anybody in this field as well. So it's a big plus.
He'll race it too. Like he'll go and he'll insert himself maybe even where he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And you're kind of gonna have to if you're gonna do anything with this race. And
Yeah.
he's raced enough where maybe he'll stick around, on the
Yep.
back half. So I like the pick bracket.
That's a good
scheme.
pick. Good pick.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm looking forward to putting the camera down and seeing how I do as well. So I won't let you down. I won't ruin it like Big Bear, whatever
You did
happened.
like,
right, Rich?
like you did for me.
Or I got
We'll
like
see.
12th and you picked me 8th or something. I don't remember.
Unbelievable. Who you want to pick here, Jack?
Rich or Bracken already mentioned him. Manuel Defoe, 100% going with him. So he got.
Would you have taken yourself here, Jack? Would this have been the spot you?
I would have picked Manuel ahead of me and then me.
Is your first international athlete?
Leon.
Oh no! Oh, Leon
Come on, Rich.
And Berenice. Come on.
This is like his,
Yeah. This is like I don't even have.
Jack would have been his
domestic.
first American athlete.
I was so pissed you took Alvaro because I could have taken him. Yeah, I'm just Sean
Leon
Stevens Whale
here
from
so
Canada.
much,
Like
he's
I don't do
basically
US.
American.
That's true. Stupid question. My fault.
Yeah.
You can take him and Sierra Camacho. Get back on track.
So real quick on Manuel Defoe, they ran a 3K or not a 3K, a sprint in Munich for the national or for the European Elite Series because they're having 4 events that lead into that final 5K. Jeremy Gachet, he got third at Abu Dhabi last year at the World Championship, and Manuel was like 40 seconds behind him, and he was about 10 seconds behind Richard Heineck, who got second, and he took down a ton of the rest of the good Europeans. Got 4th in the OCR Worlds 15K and top 10 at Abu Dhabi. So I'm like, I'll take him if you don't want him there.
Can he shoot a pistol?
Yeah.
Walls.
Well, he shot it He shot it
walls.
He actually shot it in Germany. It was in the race video. So
Did he?
I think
well?
he might actually have practice there. So that's
And
actually
they have the Uber pistols there.
the pistol bond. Yeah.
I'm taking Mike Suazo. He's been on the
Yeah.
board for way too long. Costa Rican. So
I'm gonna add flags for everybody.
Do you have Miranda as well, or did Jack?
has
I
Miranda.
stole her. Yep.
Dude,
Breaking up the couple.
Michael is strong. He's good at obstacles. He's like a relatively good runner.
Transitions well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to miss anything, and
Yeah.
I think he could do pretty well in this. So I'm taking that pick. I'm very happy with that.
Mm-hmm. Back to back.
Then give me Adam Beach.
Speaking of race ready.
He races a lot, right?
Yeah. He won Houston earlier. He's done a couple other ones as well that earlier this year that and yeah, he's got a number of, I think he led or was tied for the world lead or maybe one off last year in podiums, but he definitely led the US. And a lot of people messes me and they're like, watch out. I think he recently ran 16 mid for a 5K on the roads. And he can transition really well. So it's a good pick.
Sick. Nice pick, me. I confuse him and Ethan sometimes. I don't know if they look the same or not, but I think just like the volume in which they race and how often they're on the podiums is they get crisscrossed.
Definitely a lot of regional podiums for those guys. But yeah, this could be, I think Adam has the potential. We talked about like some of the unknowns stepping up and sort of becoming a relevant name. I could see him kind of working his way up in this type of format first, where he wouldn't necessarily be competitive in the standard national series format.
Oh, did anyone do the math on roster sizes?
Jack, I hope would have.
Looks like we might be one short.
All right, that sucks
22
for
plus
Ral.
9 is
more than
31. We don't have well, wild cards are going to be wild cards, I think.
That's why I said no wild card this time.
Okay.
That's
We'll see.
BK.
Yeah.
That's the Corral's time to shine.
Well, we're
We'll
going to
get
take
there
a
when we
wild
get
card
there.
as a real pick.
It's
If you
time.
want to.
It's
Well, I think it's my pick right now. So
so take KBB. Take it right from him.
no,
Make him use that block card. Oh my God, Jack, make him use a block card.
right away. All right. So my pick, he just ran a 1:16 half marathon, and he's had several podiums as well, battling up with Killian. I'm going Chris Marone. Another guy who I think is going to rise up and be on people's radars this year.
You got to rise up.
Exactly.
Corral, 2 picks.
Who do you want, Kirk?
Well, there's somebody on the board, and I was just harping on Mexicans coming over the border, but
That's who I want.
I mean, didn't he finish top 5 in a U.S. National Series race in Mexico? Emmanuel Sierra Camacho. He'll either take top 5 or he's
10.
going to take
He was 7,
He's
I
gonna-
think.
Yeah.
7, or he's going to take like 30th. He doesn't
Potential.
finish in the middle very often.
Because he came over to Big Bear last year too, right? Like
See,
came over to a couple
He did like every race. He was in Blue Mountain, Utah. He was pretty much everywhere.
But I don't
Didn't
know his
have a lot of
short
good
range.
ones. And then he
I
got
don't know
one.
he got one.
Yeah.
I think they were all juicing in Mexico for that race.
All the
I
shade.
agree.
I mean the performance improvement by them across by the Mexican contingency across the board in Mexico was astounding. I'm just saying.
They pack ran, and that was different than what we're used to. That's what everyone was saying.
I just can't see how that helps.
Having someone to run with versus soloing a race.
You don't solo it. You race people either way, whether they're being nice to you or trying to break you. I don't think it enters into the equation. Pack running an OCR? Like, what's
maybe
the benefit?
maybe the first 6 miles of a beast. I guess
but
there's not much going on.
It's been talked about like it was like drafting. Oh, they pack ran. They had a huge advantage. No, I didn't. They were probably used to the altitude. They didn't have
That
to
helps.
travel.
Yeah.
But pack running, that didn't make the herc hoist any easier. We could talk about life jackets, but pack
Ooh,
running,
life
get out of here.
So we're picking a
Stick it-
manual then, I guess. That's our next pick.
Yeah.
We're gonna move this along here.
You have
And
two.
I want to take Sam Osborne, but Lawrence Taylor's a Hall of Famer.
LT.
LT.
I think we take LT.
Micah Dorfner is a Minnesota guy, but he's coached by Riker, I believe, which puts him.
By Riker.
Oof.
I think so. Isn't Micah Dorfner coached by Riker?
Should we take him? That way, if we do well, it's a great pick. If he does terrible, we can just shat all over Riker.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Blame
that idea.
Riker.
We got in our mandatory Nick reference, so we're good now.
All right.
Who's
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor? Do we know Lawrence Taylor?
Hall of Fame football
it-
player, a lot of cocaine
right.
issues.
Right.
Change the game.
We don't know anything about Lawrence Taylor. though.
Nah, Bobby.
Let's take Dorfner.
Jack must know something.
I honestly don't,
Okay. Well, how'd you know to message him?
Yeah.
because I was told by like there are a few people on this list. I'm like, hey, do you know like Adam Beach? I'm like, do you know who's showing up? He's like, Chris is showing up, and named a few other people,
LT.
and then I just got the list from people.
Hmm.
So you took Dorfner? Okay. Jack.
So you're going Micah?
Yeah, that's good. That's good ammo, and one way or the other. So Micah,
Yeah.
Micah it is.
Yeah.
And
So
I think you bought a
Micah-
couple running public T-shirts too, Bracken. So we got a supporter who supports us.
That's
There you
right.
go.
From
Micah,
the
if I'm
stables
not,
of Nick Riker.
yeah.
I
think
might
he
be
got-
wrong here, though.
I would
he got
love to
second
sit in on
behind
a,
Adam Beach. Yeah, in Houston.
I'd love to sit in on a coaching call of Nick Riker's.
Yeah.
I just want to hear like what he's bringing to the table. What his coaching style's
Sage
like.
advice.
The type of energy he's bringing on the call.
Yeah. All right. My pick, I'm going Colorado's own Sam Osborne. He's been reasonably close to me in a few races, so I respect that.
He's fifth currently in Savage Series. He's done both. He was top 10 in both of those races so far this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I think that was best remaining.
All right.
Okay.
So just all guys, basically. Back-to-back Rich.
Sick. These are fucking sick. I'm gonna take Ishmael Lynn.
I'm staying with them down there, so
The
I was looking
Rocket.
at-
That's why he's on here.
Rocket Ishmael.
Here we go. We're throwing it. We're just doing every pick now. We're just going to have some sort of football reference that we could tie it back to. What didn't he have a brother too?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy Ishmael.
No, Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lynn.
Okay. You pulled that one over.
I'm gonna take Joe Roberto to finish up because that's my boy.
He's from Florida, I believe.
Yeah, he's from that Palm Beach area.
Yeah.
Anybody who's got a third after their name, they come from a long lineage of pride.
He's got a
And
son too. I think he's got a fourth.
Success.
There's a fourth on the earth as well.
So
Pick him. Your waiver pick. All right. I honestly don't know anything besides that they're coming because I was told by people that they're coming. So these three are mysteries to me. I'll go Sean Zerby because if you have a Z in your name, you're probably gonna do well.
Works for me.
And I'll find out more before race day.
and then we're gonna get the last pick here, and we're just gonna disregard the last round, or are we gonna? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
you
10.
got your last pick, and then
Lawrence Taylor, then I would assume,
Lawrence
right?
Taylor. Yeah.
LT. Makes sense to
This
me.
is really a disservice. There's one guy on the list still that we haven't picked, which is just like if you're gonna slap somebody in the face. Now I feel like that's just not cool, guys.
He can
I was
remain
hoping it was going to be
unnamed.
Jack Bauer.
Oh, please. You think I would have let myself go that far? No way.
I thought maybe you'd start to worry, like, man, is there something I don't know? He's dropping.
No.
All right. So wild card. We're doing a wild card?
Yeah, I think we've got KB. Go ahead and pick whoever. Do you want Nathan Evans since he's a known person, or are you gonna do KBB?
Neither. I want to take a woman.
Oh, okay.
Who didn't respond to you, Jack? Who's on the no response?
Pretty much the normal list. I talked to everybody who I would have had on my radar the past couple seasons.
Bracken,
There are
you're
a
not
couple.
putting yourself-
I'll be transparent. Like I didn't ask like Chrissy McFarland and some of the Savage racers who typically don't do Spartan because I thought they'd have no interest in doing it. So if you want to, or like Jamie Hornapple, I didn't ask her, but if you want to ask or pick like a high level Savage person, I didn't reach out to them.
do.
But
I do want to take either a Savage or like one of those regional grip intensive race people, like a Horinopolis or someone like that. Kirk, what are you thinking?
Yeah, sure.
That is
Like
what
a
Kirk
Julie
said.
Hiartes who races this sort of stuff once in a
Mhm.
while. Who's a Wisconsin girl? She could.
yeah,
I'd assume you didn't message her, Jack.
I did. I have in the past, but I didn't for this one. No.
This would be in her wheelhouse. Short course, obstacle dense,
Yeah.
for example, or one of the Savage people. Yeah. Bracken, this is you, man.
What
Could you-
about
You could always do like a Calderosa. Doesn't he live in Florida?
you saved it for you, right? We said a woman.
Okay.
Cole's not
All
a
right.
woman, and he has real valor.
Nicole DeRosa.
Actual valor.
Actual
Earn-
valor.
Earned valor.
Earned, not given to yourself. What about what's her name?
You guys are on the
Oh, my-
clock.
Yeah,
There's no clock.
you're about to forfeit.
Kirk's clock.
I got a clock
What
running.
about Tiffany Palmer?
I didn't hear back from her because she never messages back.
That's a
So-
great one. That's a perfect one for you.
All right, so
want- that makes
Tiffany or
sense.
Jamie Hornopoulos? Who do you want, Kirk?
I would take Tiffany first because I know her personally, or Julie Hartes. I went to Horninopolis.
Hornopoulos been rocking it on Savage this year, and she
She's
is
good.
racing, and she just raced in Gainesville.
Is she in Florida?
really-
She lived there?
I have no strong opinion on this. If she was, that may be the best bet then. If
Let's
she
take her.
lives in
10
Florida.
seconds.
Jamie Hornopoulos.
Okay.
That's it.
Spell it.
Jack can.
Probably wrong.
Language of
right.
origin.
Yeah,
Probably Greek.
use it in a sentence. All right. Me. I don't. LaShawn Roberts straight up said no. He would have been a good pick.
This is good stuff.
I said no.
I'm
John Roberts
All right,
would have
yeah.
been a
Said
good
no.
pick.
just Bracken. Are you showing up?
Okay,
I'm
can't
not.
Roll him out. Can't roll him out.
You can. I did not sign up.
He's
Only
pulling a
because I
Kempson.
think he'd do really well in a format like this. I have zero insight. I didn't reach out to him. I'm gonna go Isaiah Vidal. I could see him doing well if he decides to throw his name in the ring.
Why no Hawk call? I thought you were gonna take Hawk for sure.
Hot Call will be in Big Bear, but he won't be in this one.
But
And
will
he's
his
doing,
father be down there?
Yeah, I'll ask him that. That would be a really good question.
Is Benny G going to take a stab at this?
Ooh.
No,
What kind of improvements would one experience from a dose of Shilajit?
we'll have to ask.
Come on, tell me how much fluting you're doing along with it.
All right, I'm up. I'm
Builds lung
taking
capacity.
KBB.
Playing the old flute.
this person's going to be in Florida. If anybody can pull it off, it's her, Chris Roglaski.
That's a good point.
It's not a bad pick.
She
Yeah,
told
something we-
Jack, I assume she's not.
She's not. I saw her literally last night. She's doing Go Ruck games. So
But if something
Wow.
happens, if she
Yeah.
lands there and she's like, oh, it's just like this far of a bus ride, and I can do this, and she can work it out. She's definitely would be because Go Ruck is kind of being strict. They're like, no, you can't do both.
yeah,
But if Chris can get back to Go Ruck at the start, she's one that just asks for forgiveness and not permission type of deal.
I'm not going to spoil her race plan, but she has some extremely extravagant race weekends that she's going to do later this year. It's insane. If she can pull it off, good for her. But I don't think she's going to be able to pull this one off from what she told me yesterday.
Boys, we did it.
Good pick, Rich.
Didn't know if we could do it. We did it. We have a lot of names on here. We're still going to score top 5. We'll talk about the bonus scoring fantasy cup situation. We need a name for the fantasy cup.
That's not bad. Fantasy cup.
Hey, I would think. Right. I think we could do better.
What about like a fantasy suite?
How about you were just mentioning it, the fantasy flute? We'll do that. Right?
We should name it after somebody. I
Kirk,
think.
What's the Bachelor one? The fantasy suite.
That's right. That's right. That right? Does not insinuate an award.
I just didn't get even a single facial expression off you for that. Nothing.
Hated it.
It just wasn't clever.
Didn't land.
Fantasy flute.
And I've been to a fantasy suite before, and let me tell you, there's no trophies in there.
For another time. All right, let's do a quick recap. Kirk, Bracken, here's your team. Read them off.
No.
No.
Where's our team?
Right
it's right
on
there.
The yeah.
Oh, you. Okay.
So lost in the fantasy suite.
I am
He's
dating
it,
fellas.
Yeah.
Nicole Miracle, Casey Monroe, Tyler Veerman, Alvaro Vasquez, Heather Golnick, Jack Bauer, Ethan Brown, Emmanuel Sierra Camacho, Micah Dorfner, Lawrence Taylor, Jamie Horanopoulos.
Not bad.
It's like a squad.
Women's squad is good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're going to get points there for sure. Tyler, Alvaro, me.
Jack Bauer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I like it.
Bauer, you won't tank on purpose, will you?
No, you think I'm just flying there? I got on a Spirit Airlines flight for this. I'm not.
Doesn't sound like you're taking it very seriously.
$55 round trip. It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's not a short flight.
Non-stop. Yeah. I don't care. That's
discomfort.
All right. My team: Ryan Kempster, Miranda Kopinski, Berenice Barrera, Leon Kofud, Ashley Heller, Sean Stevens-Whale, Manuel Defoe, Chris Marone, Sam Osborne, Sean Zerby, and wildcard Isaiah Vidal.
How do you make Leon's last name rhyme with Whole Foods?
By saying it the Jack Bauer way.
Yeah.
Leon Whole Foods.
I'm basically as talented as Eminem with rhyming. So, all right, Rich.
All right, I got BJ Jones, Yanka Popova, Mark Batras, Nick Mask, Sarah Rich, Julie Best, Mike Swazo, Adam Beach, Ishmael Lynn, Jack's roommate, Roberto, Chris Rogloski.
It's gonna be fun.
You can make arguments for all three. I feel like this is as roll of a dice as anyone has been.
New format, not as deep, unknown, everything.
Is this going to be broadcast? Can we watch this?
Yeah, you guys doing coverage? Bracken's out.
Kirk, nothing on the coverage.
I haven't heard anything. No. Not saying it won't happen, but Bracken.
No, OCR report is doing coverage. I don't know who's announcing though.
BK on the mic.
Doing it? Yeah.
So why wasn't I asked, Bracken?
I think I was a second or third choice too. I was told there's a spot available next to Megiddo if I would like it.
Why is Megiddo leading this thing? Why is he the obvious one?
Listen, the Jews control the media. This is what's known in Hollywood.
I thought we were a package deal. Jason Dupree, you better call me. Just saying.
You guys are going to break up again?
This has nothing to do with Bracken. No, this has to do with me feeling a little butthurt all of a sudden. Jason Dupree. All right. We can move on.
Not that I'm mad.
Not that I'm mad, Will Hicks. I don't care.
Yeah. How about quick?
If you guys don't know, Bracken and I share bank accounts, so it's going to the same place anyway.
Last names.
I mean, yeah.
That's right.
All right, real quick. Let's do top 3 predictions. How do you think it's going to end up?
This is where BK will pick 5 to 6 people for the top 3.
Yeah. And I could see third place being so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Yeah.
That's true. I'm going to write it down real quick. Jack, you have yours offhand?
All right. No, I'm just off the top of my head. I think Nicole's going to run away with this for the women. Yanka second, third Miranda.
I
you got?
agree. I think I agree. I could see Casey Monroe getting on the podium. I don't know in place of who, but I could see that.
Okay. I just think since she struggled at Savage Race recently, like the grip and the confidence might not be there, but she does overperform quite often.
I don't think this is going to be like a Savage Race at all.
Okay. Round 3. That's what I think. So, we'll see. But what do you guys think, Kirk Bracken?
Yeah. I don't have a better top 3 than that.
I go Nicole, Miranda, Yanka, personally.
Yeah.
Flipping it around.
And you
All
know,
right.
Yeah, I could see that too.
For the guys, I think Kempson's going to edge out VJ, and third place, despite running his 50K, I'll go Tyler Veerman. He just always performs.
I disagree with everything you said.
Okay. What do you think?
VJ Kempson, I'm throw the homie Nick Mask on that podium again.
Dang, you know something.
He's been there. Oh, just what I told you. I mean, he's the fastest guy on the field.
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to shake it up a little bit then. Tyler Veerman.
First.
Ooh.
Yep. And I don't know how Kempson or VJ misses the podium.
Yeah.
I've just
Are we
never
getting
seen
individual?
Veerman lose a 3K.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm going VJ, Kempson, Batras.
All right.
I'm going to roll a little bit.
Not Alvaro, like you mentioned.
Nope, not Alvaro.
Okay.
All right. I like it.
I'm going to bank on Batras being ready to go.
We'll see what happens. Also, I launched the prediction contest. So yanceycamp.com, click that predictions tab. You've got it. Just takes like 2 minutes. If any new names pop up, I'll add them to the prediction list. It's kind of too late for us at this point for drafting. But yeah, get those picks in by like an hour before the race on Friday, and I'll let everyone know how they do.
Boys, what do we got
Jack.
on
Good luck.
Jack? Crush
Appreciate
it,
it.
dude.
Yeah,
Boom.
Bring it home for the homies.
I'm
Oh, it's
feeling
on
fit.
Friday as well.
Friday, yeah,
I keep forgetting that it's Friday.
What time do the rounds start?
4 p.m.
And then finals
So,
is at like
great.
6, right? It's not very long after.
It's like, I think 30 minutes after the last finisher of the last heat of that round, they take a 30-minute break, and then you go again for round 2, and then same format for round 3.
So
So
maybe like 7 p.m. if you really
Yeah.
think about it. Okay.
I
and
can't
I think
wait
the
to.
women are probably going to go like right after the men or right before the men. So because they have an 11-minute cap. So,
I can't.
Maybe
wait
I'm
to-
not announcing it. I still haven't, we don't have any, I haven't been contacted this week. Maybe I'm not. I don't
Never
have any
mind.
information on it. Forgot it's Friday. We haven't had a meeting or anything. Yeah, maybe I'm not.
All right. Kirk's
Don't try
available.
to make me feel better. No, I'm off the table all of a sudden.
I'm starting to think Kirk's in and he's playing this up.
Yeah.
slow play.
I'm just as
No,
hurt
no,
as
I
you are,
got big.
Bragan.
I got big plans Friday night. I got big plans all of a sudden.
I cannot wait to see how big of a disaster this is.
Oh,
This is
I'm
gonna
holding
be
my breath.
This is going to be the best thing that's happened to this show in a long time.
I'm actually very much looking forward to it. So I
Same
will
here.
probably be tuning
Totally.
in.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I hate the most about this?
The laser
not
pistols. Hold on, let me
No.
guess. Laser pistols.
No,
The heats. The heats. The big cute little cute.
Yeah.
no, what I hate the most is what it's done to the women's sport. It was so
Oh.
compelling last year.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
compelling. And suddenly we're reduced down to 9 declared women on our end. Even if it's double that, that's barely even enough for one heat.
And the
It's
men's
just-
field is saturated to start with, but we'd have a list double this size typically. In
Yeah.
the men's field.
There's
Totally.
no Lars, Josiah, Atkins,
It's
some
cut
of
the men's field in half, and it's taken 2/3 out of the women's field at minimum.
The women's field was catching the men's or exceeding it in the compelling nature of some of the races. And now this looks like 2012 again. And that's what disappoints me the most. I really hope that Big Bear rejuvenates it or proves this wrong, because just looking at it, I feel like, oh man, this is worst case here.
Still watch.
Still going to watch it. We might need to find other things to draft for to make our whole season, because there's not a ton of these races and these might be terrible.
We'll see. Good luck in Anaheim, Rich.
Yeah,
you.
Rich.
Thank you. Jack and
luck,
I
Jack.
holding it down.
Exactly.
What do we
Maybe
got?
one day we'll see Bracken on the course.
It's
I
already
signed up
signed
for
up.
Palmerton.
I know. Well,
Yesterday.
that's months from now.
It is.
You said
Maybe.
one day. That is a day.
That is the
Okay,
day.
Fine. You're right.
What do we got on Running Public this week?
We can't say.
No.
Training Tuesday, we talk about
Q&A.
scaling workouts. Scaling workouts. If you're a fast 5K or a slow 5K, does that mean you should be doing the same workouts as fast 5Kers, or do you need to scale yours differently? For example,
Good topic.
we did that. We don't have our guest book. Do we have our guest book yet for later this week, Bracken?
We'll talk
How's your
offline.
That's why I can't say.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and I actually just didn't do one this past week. I don't have any. I don't have anything good to say,
That's how it starts.
so I decided to say nothing at all.
That starts.
That's what we're doing.
It would have just been a one-person rant on Hyrox's qualification. So
Oh my god,
you got it out of the way with us.
I was so mad, and I was going to Home Depot. I'm planting grass back here. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I went and rented a tiller at Home Depot, and the guy was showing me how it works, and he was like pulling on the cord, just trying to get it started, and he's like yanking the shit out of it. I'm like, man, this dude is like really pulling this freaking cord on this machine. And then he pulls it and it didn't start, and he looks back down and he's like, oh, and here's the throttle. I lean over and he pulls it again and he smokes me in the nose. Like just backhanded punch directly in the face. And then I wasn't mad anymore. I was like, oh, I just needed to be punched in the face. So now it's a strategy.
Literally.
I'm just going to deploy that
Philly
strategy
therapy
whenever.
right there.
That's,
I like
I need to
that.
just go get in a fist fight and knock some sense into me. So it's a good life lesson.
You were homesick.
That's what
I
it
haven't
was.
been punched in the nose in like 3 months.
That's what it was. I was feeling a little soft, so we're all good. All right. So tune into next week. Running Public. Refo's running. Watch Jack kick butt. Watch me kick butt.
Yeah.
All right,
Go
fellas.
get them, guys.
Nice job today.
No, get that out of here.